Okay. Oh, I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Maybe. Tech stuff, you know how it is. Okay, now it's not showing. What the Skype cam. Hi everybody, we are live. And there's Roy. Surprise!
Hello. I don't know which camera I'm supposed to look at. That one?
Yeah, that one is the main cam. I'm trying to get Yamas up to where we can hear him and moving, but
Hey, Yamas.
I don't know
Hello, everybody.
where it is.
This is surreal seeing it from inside the lens. I dig it.
We wanted you to say welcome back to the workshop.
Welcome back to the workshop.
Ha! We got it. Is that the right?
Bacon. Flux, flux, flux.
Uh-oh.
Gordon
Oh.
Farmer, I am here.
It didn't even take it, did it? Didn't even have to yell it or...
Nope,
say
didn't have to
anything?
yell it or nothing.
Yeah.
This is where it's kept, in case.
Is this a good seat for me?
All right, we'll put your bride right there in the middle.
I don't know why.
I better sit in the middle.
Okay.
Window.
She might spook and run off camera. She hates being the center of attention.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Okay, now what?
Hey, Debauch Maker. I don't know if they can hear me. Can they hear me good?
Yeah, they should be able to.
All
You
right.
are the Yeti
Boom.
there in the middle is
Yeti?
what. Yep.
Sweet.
Skype 1.
Sweetness.
Is that what I want? Yeah. Alright, you're at least on the stream, Yamas.
We were going to do the Belmont. That will pick up all three of us.
Yeah.
Yamas is on the stream, however, I'm not getting audio out of him.
What do you say, Yam Daddy?
So.
And there she comes. We got a seat all set aside just for you.
Yep. The trifecta going on. Or the quadfecta. Quadfecta.
Camera's right there.
Everybody say hi to Jess now.
Hello. You mic'd up or just a general mic?
Yeah, we got the Yeti there. Everybody now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yamas is waving to you guys, so you can.
Hey, Yamas.
There you go. You can see him. But I am not 100% sure as to why we can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't either. While you're working on that, Yamas, if you can hear us, I know we may not be able to hear you. We just want to stop for just a second and say thank you so very much.
Yes, sir.
For doing this and just kind of working alongside us on this. This is really cool, and we appreciate you doing that.
Is it that one?
Hey, I see Yamas' face on this screen.
We all have to pay somehow, right?
Yeah. It's worth the price of the admission.
There you go.
Nope. You have the NDI running. Yeah, I just opened it up, and for some reason, it's not giving it to me.
All right, so say hi to everybody. I see Gordon, Justin, Lynette at Coffee Angel Crafts, Adam, Speargrass, Aussie, Robert Launis, John Burnell, Daniel Debauch Maker, and Robert Whitney. That's what I see at the moment. So, there you go. Ed from Mule Kick. So, hi everybody. It's Troy and Eli and
I'm here.
very special guests.
Yeah, buddy.
We all just finished up a really nice supper
Yeah.
with them and some great fellowship. Roy and Jessica Adams from Christ Centered Ironworks, like they need introduction. You guys, that's just kind of silly of us to do that, but they're here, and we're just, man, we're so happy about this. Tonight's going to be a little bit different than. On my glasses. Tonight's going to be a little bit different than most streams that we do, and probably most streams that you guys do. I'm guessing.
Yep.
There's not going
Quite a bit different.
Fire may get lit here a little bit later, but not at the moment. So Eli is going to kind of moderate a bit of a question and answer kind of thing. And if we can get sound, Yamas is going to chime in on a few things as well.
Yes, sir.
We may be intentionally muting Yamas. Just
No,
so
I am not intentionally
don't-
muting
don't get
Yamas.
don't get the answers. Selectively muting. How about that?
There you go.
What we'll do is we'll just have him nod.
Yes.
Yes
Just
and
only,
no. So
only yes or no.
No, just that
We
easy.
we always figure out who's the best.
Hands,
That's
lots of
rating.
hands.
Lots of hands.
Hands, yeah.
That's
That's
how
how lots of
No
hands.
jazz hands though. So, first of all, thank you so much to you guys. You guys have been teaching a class at Goshen Historical Society. If you're there for very long, it becomes a hysterical society at times.
Yeah.
We've been there. It's actually where Eli did his first forging. His first
Shoot,
actual forging was at the Historical Society there. And what class have you been teaching?
I've been teaching a bowls and vessels class, basically. Right now we're just focusing on the bowl portion, making steel vessels, steel bowls.
And today and tomorrow, right?
Yep, today and tomorrow. And and then about 2 months from now, I believe it is, July, I'll be teaching a garden bench class. So I'll be actually coming down and doing a traditional joinery.
We were just talking about that because of
Class,
of the heat.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the heat.
No, not a
necessarily.
fan of the heat at all.
And he picked to come back in July to do a project that will require lots of radiant heat.
Oh.
I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yep. You
Oh my gosh.
Because of torture. I like torture, so.
Am I?
Is that really necessary?
I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see him until I can figure out
Well, we
what's
can
going
see
on
him
with
all
it. Oh goodness.
I think we're not going to be able to hear him anyway, are we?
No, for some reason it's not allowing me to
Okay.
get him.
Oh, what a shame.
This is how it goes when you live stream, folks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So nothing is simple.
Figure it out.
Especially when we ran them late.
We were having a great supper and fellowship and hanging out together. It was just been really good. We could have just sat there at the dinner table all evening probably. And,
Absolutely.
but we wanted to come talk with you guys anyhow, and here we are.
And if it looks like I'm spacing out during the stream, it's like I'm trying to take in all the back behind the scenes stuff that I can't see on camera normally from your all's perspective. So I'm busy perusing his shop, seeing,
I think
seeing what he's got, seeing what he can do better.
I think I've already got everything marked, inventoried. So I'll make sure at the end of the night.
I
Just in
got
case.
big pockets.
Yes.
I got big pockets.
Keep on going.
Keep on going.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I was on Sam Towns' stream last night. He was making a copper bowl,
Oh yeah.
and he was frustrated. I think he just at the end of it, he finally just quit. He said, "You know what? I'm done," and he just walked over to the camera and said, "See y'all."
Oh
Turned it
no.
off.
Oh no.
So somebody was saying he could. I think it was Robert was saying that Sam could have used your help last night.
Yeah.
Just making
Yeah.
sure we can't hear Yamas on the stream.
It's
Oh,
one
okay.
of those. It's one of those things that vessel work looks real easy, and like, oh, it's straightforward. You know, all you gotta do is hit it into a swedge block or
Yeah.
depression.
So it
Like,
folds.
yeah, but you're really dealing with a whole multitude of compound curves. So if it's just a simple bowl,
Yeah.
that's one compound curve. That you're dealing with.
Yeah.
If you roll out an edge,
Oh.
or add a different direction now you're dealing with it doubles. You're dealing with 3 compound curves all in the same section.
So it's easy. Is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, it's real easy. So it'll give you an education on how material actually moves under the hammer and where it goes and flows too. So
And I noticed today's watching you were streaming it live today. I think weren't you, or at least recorded it.
No.
no,
Who was doing that? Was it Jamie?
Oh yeah, Jamie was
Jamie
showing on
was
Facebook.
Jamie,
Yeah.
And
on Facebook.
you do a lot of the copper work. So you're using heat it up and anneal it, and then do your copper work, and then go back and heat and anneal and all that kind of stuff. And you're using steel today.
Yep.
And you were basically saying, this is different. I'm used to using the copper when I'm doing this work, and then now you're having to use the steel, and knowing the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
He did a very large rectangular steel vessel. I think it was like 30 inches or so for a customer a
15
couple years
inches.
back.
Yep. That was a lot of heat. Yeah. Built
I
a
would-
custom forge for it out of a 55-gallon drum, so I could get the whole thing
Wow.
hot. Yep.
I don't know why we keep getting him twice in a large.
I don't know. Yamas, when you see Eli next time, I give you permission just to wrestle him to the ground and beat the tar out of him. You're more than welcome to.
He said,
Yeah,
haha.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, Wiley says not just curves, but stretching and shrinkage on the
Yep.
tool too. So.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did a little bit of, and I know it's not the same. It's similar, like auto body work,
Mhm.
and watching the metal in some places has to expand, some places has to shrink, and if it shrinks, it's coming back on itself.
Mhm.
And that's where you get those
Yep. It's
kinks and
thickening.
crinkles,
And, yep.
it can be definitely challenging. And Alex Hanneman, I talked to him earlier today. He was hoping to get in here, so I'm glad to see Alex come in. He was, he's got company coming at 8, so thanks for jumping in, Alex.
Almez just called me a noob with Skype.
We did have a good trip, Kelly. It was really a great vacation down on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it's just gorgeous down there. We absolutely love it. And got to go. We've got a video that'll be coming out on when we went to Mabry Mill, which is where I got my inspiration for blacksmithing, from a gentleman by the name of Festus. Festus was
I
the
like
guy's
it.
name. Well, and it's interesting because in the Greek mythology, the blacksmith to the gods, his name was Hephaestus. And so that's where the
Yeah.
English term Festus comes from. So it was kind of interesting. The guy's name's Festus, and he became a blacksmith, And he was a great guy. He was a piece of shoe leather with a hat. It was unbelievable. And had a cigar inside his mouth that he never smoked. He just chewed on, just gnawed on it. And I think at the end of the day, that was his indicator that my work is done. And the cigar was completely chewed up, and he was done. But at 5 years old, I remember going in the blacksmith shop, and he had a little stump sitting there, and of course they had the public back away. You couldn't come in, but we were there enough that he would allow me to sit on that stump just inside the door and watch him work. And the crazy part is, 5 years old, my mom and dad would walk off to the other places at the mill and the park, and leave their 5-year-old sitting at the blacksmith shop on this stump with this stranger blacksmith. I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by what he was doing, and I wasn't about to leave. So I have a pen and ink drawing of Festus in the shop. So I took my first hammer. Where is that? It's in the truck. I took my first hammer and the picture of Festus and went to that blacksmith shop and got a picture there, and that was just really, really kind of cool for me. And I think one of the questions that Eli might have is kind of origin story, so to speak. Like for me, where I got my first inspiration was from Festus. Where I first started was at the Antique Machinery Show down in Georgetown. So give us kind of the origin story of blacksmithing. And I know you've talked about it in other videos and on live streams and stuff like that, but lay it out there.
Love to. Would you like to tell a story?
Oh no, I'll
No,
let you do it.
you let me do
I was
it?
gonna say your childhood story was very similar to
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
were saying.
Yeah, actually very similar. So there's a place here in Ohio called Carriage Hill Metro Park, and they have historical kind of reenactments, and they do different things there. You
It's
go
a
there.
fully functioning living history farm.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
it's
fully
really
functioning,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was, I believe, probably 5-6 years old at the time. First time I went up there, it was with my grandma Blessing, and the rest of my family, and it was very similar. I went up there and I was the little annoying pesky kid outside the blacksmith shop. I didn't want to go to the woodworking shop. Didn't want to go see the pigs or sheep or any of the other activities. I was dead set on staying there, and so my parents at the time, they left me there. They just left me in front of the blacksmith shop,
Yep.
and that's where I stayed. And at the end, the guy gave me a little horseshoe nail ring.
Yeah.
I made out a little horseshoe nail, and couldn't tell you the guy's name.
Right.
Couldn't tell you the guy's name. I was too young to
Right.
remember. But that was where my initial interest came from. And then when it wasn't until many years later when we got married and moved out to Ohio again, we were looking for something to do for the weekend. I'm like, hey, you know what? I think I remember this place that we could go, And I thought it was pretty cool. And so we went up to the Carriage Hill Metro Park, and it was the same thing. I was like a little boy again, fixated at the blacksmith shop. And
Yeah,
she
you
was
even
kind
told
of
me
bored.
that story. You
Yep.
told me that story about when you were a kid.
Yep. Told her that story about when I was a kid, and so that's where we, had the original interest. And when we left there, I was like, oh, hon, wouldn't that be cool? Oh man, wouldn't that be cool if I could be a blacksmith? Oh man, oh wow, and just kept talking about how this would be so great. This would be a cool hobby, and I could do this, and I could make us all sorts of stuff, and Yeah, so this was in our first year of marriage. Yeah,
Wow.
I think we've been married, 8 months at that time?
Mm-hmm.
In total? Yeah, about 8 months. And
Now, with that being said, you're like, hey, I can make us all kinds of stuff. Jess, how much stuff in your house is there that is blacksmith forged by this guy? Is there a
Quite a
lot?
Quite a bit.
Why?
There's quite a bit. Let's see. Just in our living room alone, just inside the door, we have a flower coat rack. And then in the window there, we have a cattail sculpture. And then
Yep.
he did, after we moved into our new house, he did curtain tie backs for all of the windows. So I have oak leaf tie
Yep.
backs.
towel bars. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's see, your flower lamp is in one of our windows.
yep.
And yeah, pretty much every room of the house has forged ironwork in it.
Okay.
So
A lot of our decor, though, there's very few pieces that aren't transient, though. So if somebody gave a high enough price,
Go. Yeah.
it'd be gone, and I'd make
Yeah.
something else. So
It's probably, and the reason why I
Well
ask is
placed, so.
Michelle always asks, she'll come back here and I say, hey, what'd you think of this? I'll forge something, I'll show it to her. She's like, yeah, that'll look great. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, wait. It's not going to look great in this room or that room. It's going to look great in somebody else's room somewhere. So she kind of fuzzes at me that. But I think by now we've got a few things, or at least one thing in about
Yeah.
every room, But yeah, there's that idea. Oh yeah, she said that'd be great. We can have all kinds of stuff in there. And I show her something. She's like, yeah, that'll be awesome in this room. I'm like, no, it'll be awesome in somebody else's room because we're trying to
Yeah.
make a little money off of it. But do we have any
Very
success
difficult,
up here?
so.
I don't, for some reason I can't get Yamas for us to hear Yamas. He can hear us. He's talking, but we can't hear him. He's having a good old time. I don't know what he's saying, but he's having a good time.
a lot of times on our computer, if we have a microphone plugged in, it won't output other than to headphones. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's the case.
Well, I've got
You got a pair of
speakers hooked
plug-in
up.
headphones.
Would it be going through the speaker if the speaker in like the headphone jack? Tell you what.
Probably wouldn't.
I think I had to read the last time on
Yamas, Roy just mumbled to me that this is the most exciting time he's ever spent with you.
Oh no! Wait for the laugh.
Love you, buddy.
I don't know if you can beat Yamas in a tutu though.
No, I don't know.
You could try. You
where's
could
your
try to beat
tutu?
Yamas in a tutu. No, there would be no tutu.
No tutus?
No kill, no tutu.
No
That
kills,
ain't
no
happening.
tutus.
No,
All
that ain't
right.
happening.
I can survive it.
Yeah. No, he's gonna go looking for it.
What's that?
He's going looking for his tutu.
Oh yeah.
Fix it, Jess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have a Jess right here. We could, it's like the multi-tool of live streaming.
See, we know how this is, right?
That's the green one, I
because
think, buddy.
right now at this point, inside Eli's head is DEFCON 7
Oh yeah.
going on right now,
Yeah.
and there's a small man yelling at the top of his lungs. Yeah.
Knock Yamas.
Spirit Rest says Roy in a kilt beats Yamas in a tutu.
Legs are legs, man.
Yeah.
I can't even get him to wear shorts.
This is where
Nope.
I keep Jess around. Does that work?
That work?
Yeah. Okay, so now,
Jess is the boss. I'm telling you.
yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, I need another USB port. But if we take the other
but you
USB
don't.
port, then we take away his camera.
Okay,
to see
so
us.
I'll tell you what. If
Yeah.
you can hear him,
Yeah,
you interact with him.
we should be able to. There, we've got speakers. We should
Okay.
be able to.
I know that, but I feel he has such a sad face.
Yamas?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Calm
Eli's
down,
still
Eli.
working on it.
We could always pull out our phones and watch the
Yeah, you
live
consider
stream.
that.
That gets a weird feedback loop though.
Yeah.
It does. It does. We actually did that a couple times, and everybody's like, feedback. It's got a real feedback loop. That's when we first started with the live stream. Which reminds me, one of those questions. When was your first live stream for the channel? Can you recall when that was?
If you scroll really far back, it's we've had
Yeah,
over,
really far
we've
back.
had over 100 live streams.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
had
we
over
hit that
100 live
milestone
streams,
a couple
so.
months ago.
Gosh, let's see here. We're in what year we're in? We're 2021.
2021.
Right? So
I think it was
2017.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2017 summer.
Okay.
2017. I just finished up working for the day. I just got done knocking out about 30 bowls, and Yeah, sweaty, tired, and
what
I was
made you-
like, well, I'll just see if this thing works. There's
okay.
this feature on my phone. I'm like, boop, and I'm like, there's people watching me. Okay, you know.
And
And
how
so
many subscribers did you have at that time?
at that time when we started live streaming, I think we had 3,000 subs. I believe
Yeah,
it was.
something like that. 'Cause
So yeah, somewhere around there, about 3,000 subscribers. You know, so YouTube was still very new.
Yes.
Very very new. So.
One of the things Eli and I talked about was, we started the channel, or I did before Eli got here, started the channel in March of last year.
Mhm.
Right as everything was hitting, and I think how many new YouTube channels got started in March of last year, in the midst of the pandemic, and how hard it's been for content makers to grow a channel quickly when it's got flooded with so many creators, so to speak. And you guys 3 years ago you did your first live, and you've had the channel for how long?
It's 2016, like a
Yeah,
year longer.
2016. So.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, it was in 2015. 2015, we actually had the channel, but we weren't active.
We
Okay.
posted our
In
first
any
10
way, so.
videos, and then we just like ghosted.
Yep, and we didn't do anything. And then we got back on it, and we had there was 800 subscribers or something. It's like,
Where did that come
like
from?
whoa, where did all these people come from? We checked back in on it, and I started taking it a little bit more seriously then. And
Gotcha.
Yamas,
I
talk.
went after it. So
Hey!
there he is.
We got the Yan Daddy. Jess and Eli. This is why we have these amazing people. I'm just here to tell you.
All right, so you guys can hear me?
Yeah,
Yep,
unfortunately. Oh,
Now,
sorry,
let
buddy.
me listen to the live stream real quick.
Great to see you guys. Been totally looking forward to this. Sit down, chit chat.
Yeah.
Through the content, and what you want to call it. Troy actually called me about this. I think almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
You
buddy.
know, Roy, you know me and my time. I don't know time.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, I really don't know how to bring this up. But, and he told me about it. And I go, man, I do not own the internet. I do not own this time slot. It is awesome that he approached me with concern and said, hey, we work something out. And I am more than happy to, stop my stream, promote another channel, and be a part of the community stream. I do it every Sunday, and I'm more than happy to be a part of it.
Well, it's really cool, man. We greatly appreciate it.
All right, so now
Eli, turn me up a bit. The viewers at home who want to hear me can't hear me. I want Jess and Roy going, God, no.
It's good to hear your voice. I hear it multiple times.
I know.
Yeah.
And Roy, I know me and you haven't had a chance to sit and chit chat, genuinely chit chat in weeks now. I know how busy you are. I'm cranky. I don't know if you guys watched me when I stream. I just ruined the bill on a hammer order.
Oh man.
So I got to run up and get another billet of 833. I advertise 833. I'm looking at a 1045 billet, but it's not 833, so I can't do it. Can't justify it. But
Been there,
but yeah.
done that.
Yeah, but again, back to it. So he brought this up, and I'm like, what a great idea. I'm not gonna say no. I'm doing my stream. You small fry can do your thing. Maybe Roy will get you some extra views. But Jess. So I'm not gonna go against the boss.
Well, yeah.
So
Wise man. Wise man. So I'm going to ask the question to you that I asked him, because we haven't really been able to interact with you yet, other than
Alright,
just
cool.
hand signals. But tell us your blacksmithing origin story.
Oh man, I've been answering that all day today too, so it's fresh in the mind. Honestly, growing up, I was reading books along the lines of Robert Jordan Steele, Wheel of Time, and Horse and Scott Potter's Alan Maker, whole series with with like heavily predominant blacksmith characters and aspects, to the point where it almost seems like, and especially knowing what it is now and remembering the reads, it's almost like they studied it and they did it for a little bit to get into the mind of the blacksmith. And ever since then, I've always wanted to try it, always wanted to have that, you know, that connection to something solid. But grew up in the suburbs, couldn't do it, homeowners association, would not be able to do it. And then I moved to Key West, and everybody's like elbows to elbows. Ain't no way they're gonna let me do that, you know, noise and stuff down there. So I didn't really push it. And then after Hurricane Irma displaced me up here to where I was born in North Carolina, you know, I've got this huge yard and a huge shop, and I'm out here trying to clean it up, just in a funky state from you know, everything with Irma. And you know, I grabbed a burn barrel and, you know, trying to clean up the yard and throwing, you know, junk and, you know, everything in it. You know, I can get this to run a whole lot more efficient. And I took a piece of metal pipe, poked some holes in it, and what's that thing? It's a twisted piece of metal that you spin really fast. Anyway, whatever that word is.
Drill bit?
Drill bit?
Went up to a vacuum on blow. And I'm like creating a little incinerator. I'm like, yeah, I'm throwing more stuff in it. And some metal got into it. And I pulled it out, and it was red hot, you know, and I'm like, oh, Pete, I hit it over the rocket, like, and I'm like, Blacksmith! and like that day, I went and picked up a Harbor Freight anvil and a 4-pound East Wing from Home Depot, and I've been hitting metal ever since. It was about 2 weeks after that, 3 weeks, about a month after that, that I decided to go, you know, do live on my Facebook to try and get my family, and, you know, here's what I'm doing. They didn't care. I found other people and realized, hey, other blacksmiths exist. They don't care what I'm doing. And so started out of the metal forge.
Very cool.
That's
You know,
awesome.
the funny thing is, there's zero part of that story that surprises me.
Right.
None of that surprised me. That's like right on. If I were to tell Yamas' story, that's probably exactly how I would tell it right there.
Yeah, you know, it's I picked it up because I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was in, I guess the best you could call it was a fugue state, you know, where I was literally just autopiloting for 3 months. Or, well, for, about 2 to 3 months. It was end of September through October, and the majority of November of 2017. I no memory of that, you know, and it's like once I started blacksmithing, you know, kind of clear my head and put everything that was in my head, you know, to the steel. It was like, wow, this is something, man. I'm onto something. And then once I found the community, it's like, I'm never gonna stop. Never gonna stop.
And demonetized.
And then I found Roy, and I pushed against Roy's channel so much when I was on my pursuit of learning. And Roy, I've told you this before.
I'm like the plague. I'm going to get you at some point.
Every single technique I you know, Googled or YouTube to look up how to do a technique. Every single technique, top video, Roy. And I'm like, Christ Centered guy everywhere.
Yeah, got it.
And I gave in, and I just started watching, like, man, I can learn from this guy, you know. And between him and Black Bear, you know, it was just, it brought me up to go,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you know, when I finally decided to get in, YouTube was my lesson platform, and the first two that came up was John at Blackberry and you guys, and honestly, you guys were down the list, but I literally saw Christ Centered Ironworks, and I said, I want to check that out and see what this guy
Hey,
does.
Silver.
And so in the midst of that, that's why I started watching it, and for the longest time, it was only 2 people that I watched on instructional videos and tutorials, and it was you and John. And part of what I love, and Yamas, you could probably speak to this, or Eli, or even you if you want, is, you know, now I watch, you know, like Joey Vandersteeg and Daniel Moss and everybody we list on the whole gambit of tutorials, and I love how everybody's different and somehow comes out with a very similar result. I love that. Brian Brazil, Brian's technique's completely different, and Mark Asprey and all the stuff he does, and somehow it comes out very similar. And that's the amazing part about it is, and part of what I love about John and you as well is that you can say, okay, John I love because he says there's nothing magical about this dimension. There's nothing magical. He's always like, just do it the way you want to do it. This is the way I'm doing it. And I've never heard you say, there are some guys out there who will say, if you don't do it this way, you're an idiot and you should never pick up a hammer again, right? And you may tip your hat to that on occasions and go like, now, this is the way I'm doing it. And there are others who do it a different way.
Some of my earlier videos definitely came across that way just because people didn't understand exactly, or better yet, instead of throwing it off on people, I should say I was not an effective communicator of what my actual meaning was, because the way that I got brought up and doing trades and stuff was like, this is it, my house, my rules, my job site, my rules. This is the way you do it, and that's the way I learned, and that's the way I taught other guys, instructed other guys underneath me. That's how I learned to teach. And then I realized that you gotta piffy slap YouTube around a little. You gotta break out the feather gloves a bit, for people to like you on YouTube, because a lot of that, they don't know your personal backstory. Yeah. They're just there for the first time viewing you, and they don't know that. Oh well, no, he's just being direct and to the point.
Yeah.
He's
So, well, if I may, you bring up a point. You learn just like me. I learned to teach through teaching, electrical to my apprentices back in the day. You learn to teach in the trades. That's something where there is one way to do it. You got to do it this way, or you will fail an inspection. Yep. You have to do it the correct process. So that's, you learn to teach that way, and then when you take that same mentality and switch to blacksmithing, where the phrase "many ways to skin a cat" is, I'm not going to say almost literal, because very figuratively real.
42.
Making a hammer. I know like 5 different ways to make a hammer that will all achieve the same result: a piece of metal on a stick to hit other pieces of metal. You can't just teach one. Well, you can just teach one, but you can't, like some have said, this is the only right way. Because there are several right ways, and you're right, it's how you learn how to teach a different style.
Yeah. So with mine it was a lot of learning how to explain that yes, there's nuance, but this is why I chose the path that I'm going currently, and this is why I'm teaching you the method that I have chose to demonstrate on YouTube. I think I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Oh yeah.
Slowly over time. And there's a few people who severely disagree.
Daniel Baca, 42.
42.
Ways to skin a cat.
What's the count now? 1,500 videos, or have you guys broken 1,500 yet?
We've broken 1,550, so we're 1,552 videos. So yep, on our way to 1,600. So
I remember back when you were a small channel with only 1,300.
Yeah.
Back that far.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
and Eli, including our lives, I think we're just over the 100, like 112.
Yeah, something like that.
15, something like that. So just get a clue.
I gotta say, you guys are climbing up there. You guys are cranking out some videos. I wish I could keep up the pace right now. But yeah, I'm watching some of Eli's videos. Eli edits some weird Eli's videos. I'm watching some of y'all's videos, and it's like, man, I really need to get back into this.
It's a lot of frantic Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Of hey, we've got a video due Monday morning.
Monday morning, yeah.
Yeah, we got to get that done.
I want to do videos more on my schedule, and I don't want to fight the algorithm anymore.
Right. Dana Maggiore said, Roy, do you remember your first YouTube video? Like what it was or?
Yep, my first, well,
Remember
let
our
me say,
first
I
attempted
think,
filming session.
yeah,
That was not the first video.
I remember my first attempting filming session, and I got so camera, I wouldn't say shy, I freaked out, tongue-tied, and I froze, completely
Deer
froze,
in the headlights.
and I was just like, I don't want to do this. Get out of my shop.
So-
I had a buddy coming over who,
He brought over one of the giant camcorders, you know,
Yeah.
he had
Yeah.
it set up
Big.
facing Roy.
yeah, it was an eBay thing that he got. It was an old television camera that they
Okay.
would
Oh,
use
yeah.
for television.
Yeah.
And at that time I had no clue what it had. All I knew it had a bunch of plugs and wires and
All over the
buttons and things. And anyway, so my friend Richard Krim, he came over and he said, "Well, I'll film you. You know, he's like, I'll help you out and get some of these videos." I just couldn't do it. I'm like, get out of my shop. I'm like, I'm not doing this. So that was my very first.
Oh my goodnance.
And he ended up throwing away the camera actually after
Did
a
he?
while.
You asked
Yeah,
him about
yeah
it?
there
Okay.
was some footage on it, but
That's a shame.
so
Huh.
somewhere in a dump somewhere, it's Roy's very first YouTube video that never ever got posted.
Oh man.
I'd like to see
So.
that, Roy.
Oh
Gosh,
yeah,
that'd be so.
I was trying to help him. I was trying to help him through his tongue-tiedness, and
Yep.
so I took a picture of a guy that he was mentoring at that time, and I taped it directly under the camera. I said, "Talk like you're talking to Johnny." But
Yeah.
it didn't work.
No, it didn't work. I just ended up hating that photo. I really hated that photo vehemently.
I don't think we ever told him that story.
No, we never told him.
Poster-sized photo coming your way one of these days. Like, I'm talking like bed sheet size.
Like flag size.
I'm going to print it on a 12 by 24 tarp. And you're going to mount it. And
On the side of the barn.
Every day look at it, use it as inspiration. Be
I
better.
will slowly hate that photo, I'm sure.
That'd come in handy in a barn.
Just to be
though,
honest.
Right? It'd come in handy in a
Yeah,
barn.
come in handy. I'd hang him up in the rafters
Yeah.
where he's looking down with some
Oh
raised
my
line
gosh.
around him.
Man. Now I gotta get that image out of my head.
Let's see. Gordon Farmer has a question. It said, "Does Roy, your dad, and Yamas ever get frustrated with themselves?"
Oof.
Ooh,
There you go.
yeah, good question.
Okay,
Who wants to lead?
Yamas, you go, and then we'll go around the horn.
All right. I go first? First off, you guys have no idea how frustrating it was to ruin a hammer billet on live stream.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, in general, if I'm struggling with, you know, it mostly happens, I don't get so frustrated when I'm trying something new and can't get it. I get frustrated when I'm doing something that I've done a dozen or 100 times and it's just not working. And you know, the bugs are biting, you know, the hammer, the steel isn't going to happen. For whatever reason, just the day is not going right. And most times I'll catch it, breathe, shut everything down, go sit down for a half an hour, relax, and either get back to it or call it a night. But every now and then I don't catch it right away, and I'm ended up picking parts up off the floor, you know, 20 feet away from my anvil. You know, it does happen to the best of us. So, you know, it absolutely.
Eli.
Oh, I get to answer this question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely get frustrated. I mean, it's being this new in it and seeing, you know, getting to watch you guys work and you work and, you know, being in the shop with you. You know, he'll do a project a lot of times and I'm like, oh, that was a cool project. I'm gonna try it. And then it doesn't turn out the way I want it, and that's one thing. And you got to understand, my times I've swung a hammer are still in the, you know, double digits. And I'm one who easily gets frustrated. Dad can attest to that. You know, playing sports and stuff like that. If I didn't work and get where I wanted to be in the sports, I would just get frustrated and give up, and that's something I fight constantly.
Gotcha. Yes. Nice.
Do you guys
Oh, yeah.
get frustrated?
Yeah,
Like,
you know, you do the
specifically
enamel
with
work
okay, just in
And,
general, not
you know, like with the
blacksmithing.
tech stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. Or with them.
If I had an apron, I'd pull it up.
Sorry. Brought that can of worms.
Yeah, I'm definitely a workaholic, so if I don't feel like I got a sufficient amount of work done for the day, I start getting very crabby. So, Roy's seen that a little bit. Um,
I got no problem with that. Embrace the lazy, Jess.
yeah.
So, how do you handle it?
How do I handle it? Not well.
By working till like 1 a.m.
There you go.
And getting
Work
like
it
at
out.
least 35 things done. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Jess, stop
Yeah,
it
just
around
kind
the
of
house.
a
No,
try to get an hour of productive time, and then at least call that good. Like, say, okay, I did get this, this, and this done, so tomorrow's a new day. I'll have more chances. So.
To be fair to yourself though, she deals with the children,
Yamas
taking care
said
of
it.
their schooling, everything like that. So.
Sorry. We all did this.
What happened?
You guys missed something. Okay, so we're going to break here for a minute. We have been watching this silly, it's on YouTube, it's also a series on Canadian TV. It's called Letterkenny.
Okay,
All right.
never
Yeah.
seen it.
These Canadian guys, and
Their
every once in a
their
while,
banter back and forth
they-
is just this like snap, 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 and
oh
they're
my God,
so funny.
super fast.
Little bit vulgar, but
And so
very
when
funny.
Somebody would say, well, to be fair, and somebody said, well, nice, it's like very proper. And so they'll go, to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair. And then somebody else will go, to be fair.
And then they like harmonize, and then
to be fair, to be fair. And then they go on with their band.
So we missed our moment.
Yeah, well, and you said to be fair, and I kind of mumbled like, to be fair. Eli looked up at me,
Mumbled.
Yamas had already said it.
oh
Good
gosh.
stuff.
Please continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you volunteered to come here, buddy.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Trying not to say to be fair now.
I'll curtail myself.
Refrain.
Anywho, yeah, she watches the kids and stuff. Sometimes they can be taxing during the day, and then and because they don't want to do their studies or whatever, and then she has a certain time block she wants to do their studies in, and then get on to regular work, and she don't get that done.
Yeah.
Then I like pop in after a long day before, and
You're
like,
like,
hey,
where's
hon,
this and this? I'm
let's-
like,
yeah, where's this at? Or oh, hey, it's time to relax, and she's like, are you kidding me right now? So
Yeah.
yeah,
So what about you?
me
Yeah, frustration.
all the time. Every day. Oh, my main frustrations usually come about when I feel like I have not quite accomplished what I wanted to set out with a project. Of course, it really sucks when you have something you're working on and it doesn't go well, or you burn something up to a crisp. But I've done that so much that doesn't really bug me. Where I get frustrated is when someone takes the binky away. When someone takes it's like I'd be forging on this and it's like, okay, it needs to go out the door to the customer, and I'm like, but it needs to go one more heat. And like, no, I really have to finish it, and I see all the glaring issues
In your eyes.
that in my eyes that they're never going to notice.
Yeah.
It's never going to be a thing.
Yeah.
It's probably perfect, but I'm like, it's hideous. It needs to go in the trash, right? And so then it's Jessica comes along and she's like,
Got it.
and it's in the shipping box, and I'm like, so yeah. So that's where a lot of my frustrations come from. The way I get around that is just knowing I need to move on. Done is better than perfect.
There you go.
Good deal.
Um,
Got another question for you guys.
okay.
If you
Can
wanted.
I answer the frustrating thing first?
Oh, I thought you already had. My bad. No, go ahead.
I got into, to be fair, I get interrupted.
That's his frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, to be fair. Eli will probably tell you I am not easily frustrated.
It's frustrating how not frustrated he gets.
Yeah, he does. He'll get frustrated because I'm not frustrated. I don't get frustrated. But when I do, it's not nice. It's not really a nice thing, and that's why I try to curtail it as much as I possibly can. But my frustration, almost always, if I demonstrate frustration or if I show it, is at myself. I'll rarely just blatantly come out and I'm frustrated with you and I'll fuss at somebody because I'm frustrated with them. It's generally at me. Like when I was playing sports, I would get the most upset when it was me that didn't do the thing. Like you said, I wanted to succeed at this thing. I wanted to do this thing and accomplish this thing, and they didn't get done. Like one day, I'll give you a demonstration as to how I don't get frustrated. So one day I was like, you know what? I just want to practice a little bit of scroll. I've never done scroll before.
Well,
So-
and we just made the scroll tongs.
Yeah, we made the scrolling talk, so I said, give them a shot. So I got this look, and I started scrolling up. Okay, I've never really scrolled before, and I'd watched this guy make scrolls.
A very masterful person at
very
scrolling.
good at making scrolls.
Eli.
And so I started, and I was doing it, and I was like, okay, well, I know what he's going to say when he sees it in his mind. He's going to go, oh, that's nice, wink, wink. And I was like, okay. And I was okay with that. So I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll make a scroll on the other end, just kind of work them together in this nice little. So I start on this end. And the steel.
Oh, it was hilarious to watch.
Wouldn't do it. It wouldn't do anything.
It was hilarious.
And I'm over here on the anvil, and I was like, okay, well, I'm supposed to do this, and I did it, and then I literally just from here just went, and it wasn't like, dang
angry,
it,
yeah,
and threw it. It was just like, no, I want it out of my hands. Steel is not. So, as a general rule, that's my frustration level. Is just okay. I'm out. I'm done. But I have been at that point where anger takes over from the frustration. That's why I don't do it anymore. Is that if it gets me to the anger part, I'm in trouble. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. So frustration for me, I just walk away from it and come back.
I was gonna say I get the opposite problem. Sometimes Roy's like, "Why aren't you upset about this problem?" And he's like, "Something really needs to be done about this." So I had to start showing some frustration.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yes, you're right. This is an issue. Let's address it.
Michelle gets frustrated with me.
Because, I'm like a
get
monkey.
frustrated.
I'm beating my chest. I'm throwing the lettuce. I'm unhappy. I'm smashing the cabbage around in my
There you
hand.
go. Another image. So you said somebody else had a question.
I know that argument.
Oh, yeah.
too well.
Yeah, so Robert Lannis asked, do you ever not want to do a live stream, you're not feeling it, but push through anyways for the viewers?
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
All right. There you
Answer
go.
done.
I mean, no, I always am wanting to live stream. I will dance like monkey for all people all the time. No. You know what, Roy? I'm with you on that. I don't remember. No, there are times, legitimately, that it's like I'm having such a bad day for whatever reason, and dang it, I just don't want to people today. And when that falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's like, man, every time I'm feeling that and I do end up going live, it picks me up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like going into it, I may not be like full bore, but dang it, if I don't press go live and see all the smiley faces in the chat and everything, it's just, you know what? It's like, I'm glad I did this. There are a few times where it's like, I'll be in the middle of the stream and I'll just lose steam and I'll be like, man, you don't mind if I just sit down and talk to you guys instead of, beat my head against the wall. But in general, unless there's something severely going on, I will likely not ever miss a stream.
Eli, you address ours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I cannot name a time that I have come back here even in a bad mood and not just fully get ready for the stream. Even on Thursday stream this week when I was I literally got here 5 minutes before the stream started. Had to cram down a cheeseburger, take out the dogs, feed the dogs, get back here. I had to change. I mean, and again, all of this within 5 minutes. It had probably 12 seconds before the stream started before I could get the everything set up. And as soon as it came on, I was like, wow, that was super stressful. But then everything went away. All the stress and everything just dissipated. And yeah, it probably wasn't the best quality stream, but I had fun with it. Fletcher and I had a good time with it, so I was like, let's do it. Both of us will notice every time we walk back here, it's always just that, like you said, you see the smiling faces that people put in the chat, and it's nice to hang out and see people.
So to piggyback off a little bit of what Yamas has said, give a little bit more in depth than a yep. Main reason is everybody has bad days. Everybody has down days. You're just not mentally there with it. because life happens.
Yeah.
You know, life happens. Car breaks down. You know, things like that. And generally, I like my streams to be uplifting and upbeat because there are so many people who watch us, and that is my responsibility to my viewership to be upbeat and uplifting. I mean, they didn't come to hear my dirty laundry. I mean, maybe they did if it's laughable, you know, but they don't want to hear me get on there and bring down their day. And I want to be uplifting and an encouragement. So there are some days where that is very difficult to push through and still get on camera and still go live. But I can definitely, definitely agree with everyone that, you know, once I do get on there, the subscribership, the people there at the live, they do just as much to lift me up as, you know, what I do for them. So
and you know, we go every Thursday. You know, you guys are like twice a month, right?
Yep.
Like every other Friday or twice a month. And we go every Thursday. And we made that decision. I kind of made that decision early on to not alternate, to just go.
Yeah.
And we decided if we can't go, if there's some reason why we couldn't go, we try to keep a video ready to go for premiere, so we can do that. Just for that reason, because, you know, it's Thursday night, and we've had people say, "Oh, it's Thursday night, Troy and Eli," you know, or we've said, "Or Friday night, is this a Roy and Jess week, or is this not a Roy and Jess?" Because we've got that in our head.
Yeah.
Saturday night, we know, you know, Yamas is going to be on. We know those things, and we've said this on many occasions. We'll come back here with that same attitude of, man, it's been a day.
Yeah.
And we click the live on, the people jump on, and then we get into doing goofy stuff, or, you know, it's been a really serious one, or somebody really encouraging comes on, and I pat him on the back and say, "Man, that was a great stream.
Yeah.
I was just so glad we were here."
Yeah, it's consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing live streams every single Saturday for over 3 years now. I think I've missed one, and I had Adam from Speargrass Forge cover me. And I used to, in the beginning, do 8-hour streams.
Wow.
You know, and then I cut back. And then I picked up the Sundays, so it's like, yeah, I do every Saturday, every Sunday.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have those time slots open to work on projects, but you know, like Roy says, you know, it's like, it's consistency is key, and you know, we're there for you guys. You know, we're there for, you know, you guys out there in internet land. And we do it because we like it, because it lifts us up. Now, I'm very curious on a behind-the-scenes aspect.
Ooh.
We heard Eli speaking for Troy. I'd like to hear Jess in days where Roy's like ready to go, like, "All right, Jess, this is going to be a fantastic stream. I got so much awesomeness planned. It's going to be beautiful, blah, blah, blah." And you're like, same day or same stuff every day. You know, here we go again. You know, like, I guess I could be ready. And you're always that smiling face in the corner, floating around, you know. And it's like, that smiling face just comes so naturally. Are there days where you got to go, "All right, paint it on, let's go"?
Our first winter in Michigan. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I told him, I said, "We're not going to be live streaming this winter," and he says, "We'll get you a heater."
Just easy answer, right?
The show must go on. The show must go on. I told her, and I don't know if I'll get it done this winter or not, but if I don't have my siding done by the time snow flies, I have to build her a little box. That she's going to be in a booth.
Little sauna.
Basically, she's going to have herself a little audio booth that she's going to be in, and we'll heat it nicely for her.
There you go.
So she'll be in there with short sleeves, and I'll be in my winter parka.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of which, you noticed that when they were, you know, she's wrapped up like a blanket.
Yeah.
And he's, you know,
like long sleeves or
long
sweatshirt
sleeves,
and
a sweatshirt,
totally
and
cool.
Totally, you know, got the muffled hat on
Yeah.
a little bit. And we come in here on occasions because, you know, we're insulated, got heat and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, we're down to short sleeves and everything in here. Jess is probably going jerks.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fingers will go numb. Like I can't feel press stuff.
At one point in probably the coldest day in the winter we had when we came back here for a live stream, there's a heater right here, and I had a little personal heater right here, and of course Dad was at the forge, and I literally had to like sit back because it was hitting so much on my face and so much over here, getting like was sweating, and then walk outside and there's like 6 inches of snow on the ground. Not to brag or anything.
Lucky. Yeah, lucky. Stupid bless.
Yeah,
But
stupid
it's gonna-
bless.
There you go.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And with that being said, I want to kind of transition
Jess
a
in a
little bit.
box.
Jess in a box.
Like a phone booth idea.
There's a reason why. And I want to kind of work this in here if we can. You know, this is just a hog barn that we kind of gutted out. It wasn't useful for anything else. And I insulated, did all the stuff in here. There's a reason why we try to keep the climate good in here. I've had rheumatoid arthritis since I was 5. And so I want to do this year round as best I can and stay as healthy as I possibly can. So for me, it just wasn't a matter of comfort. It was, I want to do this year round, and if it's 10 degrees outside and 35 degrees in here, I can't work. It just doesn't work for me, and so it was intentional to make sure that this was a space I could work in because of my health issues, and Eli advantages from it.
Yeah.
So, and I know you had an incident, accident that health-wise that kind of changed things for you as well.
Yep.
Is that something you can address?
Yeah. So, what kind of pushed me into doing blacksmithing full time? I was toying around with the idea, and I felt a real strong call to do it for full time for a living. And this came after a blacksmithing class out at Touchstone Center for Crafts, and it was just one of those things. Jessica got me in on it. I had a scholarship, I could go, and went and did that. And the whole trip back, I'm like, I need to do this for a living. This is what I want to do. I was not happy in the trades. Wasn't feeling fulfilled. Wasn't feeling like I was, living out my calling or anything. And this blacksmithing thing, man, I do this blacksmithing thing. But we had one baby already, 2-year-old. We had one on the way. And I'm like, that paycheck though, right? that paycheck though. I think we'll stick with the paycheck. So I ended up getting in the work truck one morning, and it was kind of rainy and a little sleety outside, and ended up rear-ending somebody. The chick was texting on her phone, and slammed on her brakes, and my big truck didn't stop nearly as quick, and so got in a car wreck, and that gave me 2 bulged discs and a protruded disc.
Wow.
So all on my lower, I don't even know what you call them. They're just above the hip, where they connect to the hip and up.
Lumbar.
Yeah, the lumbar region or whatever. So
Know about that?
Above the coccyx.
Yes.
yeah.
Language.
The tailbone.
You are right.
So if you'll notice, with one of those type difficulties, if you ever come to my shop, everything is set up higher, so I don't have to do a lot of bending down. So I don't bend, because that was one of the things that can end up continuing
So
to
you
injure it
accommodated
more,
your shop and your workspace for that reason.
Yep.
And to increase your longevity, and you've talked about it before, you swing a smaller hammer, a lighter hammer.
Yep.
You said talk about your wrists and things like that. So, and I think that's, and everybody can kind of address this, is to accommodate. I've even seen guys that sit down and forge.
Yeah.
For let that happen. If that keeps you in the craft, I think that's something we do.
Yeah.
I see you, Yamas.
Oh no, saying hi to one of the new people in the
Oh.
chat.
Oh, okay, cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Eli, you have
Absolutely.
any more questions even on our list of stuff?
Yeah, I got plenty of questions.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good.
You're fine, buddy.
Okay, just checking.
Let's see here.
We
What's
have a
good one?
prepared list of questions
Oh yeah, I got
as well.
plenty of questions. Plenty of questions. Let's see. Trying to think of a good one to start here. We'll dive in. We'll go deep. Let's go. How do you and how/why do you incorporate your faith into your work?
Good one. You want to lead it?
He's like, do it, Troy.
Go ahead, preacher.
Well, mine's easy. And, Yamas and I have already had this conversation. And this is going to be and we're cool. He and I are cool on this. And my profession is ministry. I am by profession a minister. I'm a minister and a farmer and a blacksmith. That's how I kind of list what I do. I was trained, I went to college to be a minister. And so my day-to-day life is ministry. And so I try not to do anything that's not ministry. And so when I started taking up this craft, I thought, now, how do I incorporate that into my ministry or into a ministry? And how do I, without being, again, Yamas and I talked about this, without being oppressive
Street preacher.
about it, without shoving it down other people's throats. And a part of it is just the example. Like when we do our videos, a lot of times, at the end of a video, I'll include a scripture and a biblical lesson. And there's a reason why I put it at the end. Is that those who know our channel know that, okay, if this is going to be a tutorial or a demonstration of how I made this thing, he's going to talk about Jesus at the end. Mm-hmm. He's going to talk about God at the end. And so if that isn't appealing, or if you know that's coming up, that's where you can click out and you can be done with the video, and I'm fine with that. I want people to hear the message, me personally, but that's how we incorporate it as well. And obviously, you look at our logo, your logo, there's a cross over the top of the anvil. We put, we've got a plan for another shirt that just has the logo on it, and we started with the 2 T-shirts that have the scripture on it. So we try to incorporate it that way, and we're overt about it. We let it out there, but we're trying not to be kind of oppressive about it, about not shoving it down people's throats, and encouraging. You talk about want the streams to be uplifting, you want the videos to be uplifting, and we try very, very hard in everything we do to be encouraging, uplifting, and things like that. So I think that's where we start, and it's as a result of my faith.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. So for us, it's kind of an interesting journey if you all walk with us for a little bit there. So originally, the reason that I named the business Christ Centered Ironworks was not to get attention at any bit. YouTube came long after we had a full-time business running very well established, and wasn't really a point. Long before there was merch, long before there was banners and people liking me and people don't like me and the whole thing. Heck, even before I was even on Facebook or any social media platform whatsoever, because that wasn't really the point. That wasn't really the point for me. For me, it was an accountability point. That's what it was for me, and that's what incorporating my faith into my business meant. Was I had always struggled with pride, a lot of being prideful and haughty and things like that. And part of that I felt led to my car accident as well, because I was like, I'm the man, I'm the provider, I take care of all the bills. A lot of I's in those statements. And so I had when you can't even get up to go take care of your own kid without getting on your walker to walk over, to your crib, right? You can't hold them for very long and things like that. That really opens your eyes that, hey, you're not I anymore, right? There's a bigger thing. It's called we. Right? There's a bigger thing out there. So when we started, getting into doing the blacksmithing full time, because even before we did blacksmithing, we did eBay selling for a while, and that definitely ramped up because I could work. I could go back to my regular vocation. I was on a walker for 6 months, and And so times were real low. You know, we were living on $600 a month to, you know, one baby in diapers and one 2-year-old, you know, and so we were just trying to scrape by. And so definitely went through this humbling period. So part of that is why I chose to name the business Christ Centered Ironworks, because if it became anything at all, I didn't want it to have my name associated with it. So I wanted to point back to who I felt had brought me through all those tough times and all those things. And so that's kind of the origin story and how that gets placed in the business. And that'll bring up an interesting rant if anybody wants to go into it. It's
get a
maybe
rant.
not really a rant. It's an interesting thing that I've been becoming more and more aware of, that it's funny how different people respond to Christ Centered Ironworks, right? And a lot of people, the initial reaction on YouTube is, I don't want to hear this guy. He's gonna have a Bible right here in my face and be yelling scripture at me, you know. Yamas,
Yamas is an example.
If I may interject,
Go ahead.
You kind of touched on this earlier, and Roy, me and you have spoken about it. I'm kind of the odd man out in this because while I am a spiritual person, I'm not heavily religious. You know, I follow the tenets of public, my personal public morals that don't talk about religion, sports, or politics in mixed company. Because it's my business, you know. And yeah, what I was saying earlier, that I fought tooth and nail, like I'm Christ Centered, mainly because of that. Exactly. You know, I don't like, and even if it's somebody of my own spiritual path, shoving it down my throat. You know, it's like I personally don't need anything to tell me how to be a good person. You know, as I told you, Troy, I talked to you, Troy, about that. But and once I got kind of into it, I'm like, you know what? That the message here is blacksmithing, not religion. You know, the message behind Christ Centered Ironworks is be a better person through being a better blacksmith. You know, and you don't make it your channel identity. You know, and neither do you, Troy. You know, you don't either. I mean, it's an aspect of your channel, a bit heavier than Roy makes it an aspect of his channel. But, like, and there you have, you know, Troy, Roy, Yamas. You know, it's like every video's got a scripture. It's just the name, and, you know, we'll bring it up every now and then. And I don't talk about religion. Right. You know.
Yeah, like, and allowing that to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And look at this, we're all talking and enjoying each other's, you know, company time, and we've all learned from each other. More so from Roy, but you know, I like to think that we all, as kind of 3 stages of the levels of YouTube, you know, close to top dog in our niche, you know, middling to small, and then, you know, a beginner channel. You know, no offense, everything grows.
No, we know it.
You know, but
speaking of growing channels, how about this for a segue? Speaking of growing
nice.
channels, the hashtag drive for 500. That's where we're pushing for right now. So
Good lead in. Good lead.
Right?
Good lead in, Yamas.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Way to lead that into a promo for us to get more subscribers.
Yeah.
I did, right on. Yeah. And for those of you who are watching that don't watch my channel or that don't really know me, and to this, I'll apologize to Roy and Troy and Jess and even Eli back there behind the scenes. I apologize. Everybody who knows me knows I'm long with you. You know, if you need to,
Not at all.
click the mute button.
Yep. I live.
Yeah, that's why the drive to 500 it's got to be a 50 way up. The drive to 500, the bar run 500.
A bar run 500.
I don't know.
You've got to create the channel going. You know, it's like I give huge props to anybody who goes through the effort like you do, like Roy and Jess do, like, you know, if anybody goes through the effort to do a scheduled weekly or scheduled live stream and stick to it and have a plan and boom, and make it a professional looking show. Not even a screw professional looking, a professional show.
Yeah.
You deserve the boost. And it's like, the effort pays off. You know? The effort pays off. You know?
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta just speak to Techron-matic. That's hilarious. He said, Techron-matic said, if you were in the same room now, Yamas, they would be holding you down and converting you. We would have ourselves a slat tub baptism.
Doing a little split cross
How long can you
power Christ compels you.
Like an intervention. No, you know, I'm able to get along fine with people who have opposing, you know, points of view of me, whether it be religion, sports, or politics.
Yeah.
Sports is easy. I don't watch sports. I get a lot of guff for that being a guy who doesn't watch sports. But I ain't got time for football.
And Bill Will, I did see your comment there.
What was it?
You know, one of the things I kind of subscribe to is the idea, and when it comes to faith and stuff, is there's an old phrase that says people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that is earning respect into people's lives, and even the short period of time that I've known Yamas and got to spend with Yamas, and you as well, is there's enough respect, even though, you know, Christianity is not your thing, you have respect enough for us sitting around here that it's not a wedge in our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're talking to Bill, right?
Yeah.
Or any of us.
Anybody, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
like, there's no reason, and Roy, I think you have talked about this on occasion. There's no reason for a personal belief to get in the way of a friendship, of a business, of anything. I mean, if you truly don't like me, that's fine. But like, if you don't like me because of some perceived thing that may or may not have anything to do with what I'm doing, that's also fine. That's not on me, you know. There's no way I can go through life not getting along with people because, you know, this, that, or the other. I mean, I see it all the time. Oh, I don't watch that actors movie because they believe blah 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 blah. It's like, so what? Are they good movies? You know, oh, I can't watch this because of this.
Eli, do you have anything else to add to that, or moving on to the next one?
I mean, I just to end off the whole, I guess, end off that question, and well, and Jess, I'm sure you can attest to this as well. Coming onto the business, you know, obviously these two are the kind of the faces of the business, you know, to each of them.
Scary.
But coming into it, and also, I don't say buying into that.
That's all I'm saying. Little T, Roy.
Well, I would say three of us on this picture right now look awfully similar. So,
And one of us is pretty.
but yeah, just keeping into that, and buying into that mindset, and already being in that mindset of everything you do as your business grows, as your channel grows, and everything like that. People are going to see where you stand and who you are, and always just having that in the back of your mind when it comes to your content. And like you said, Yamas, if you don't like it, okay. There are plenty of other blacksmiths to go watch. You know, if you don't like something we say or something, you know, Roy say,
Yeah.
plenty of other channels to watch. But the idea of being authentic in everything that you do, I think, is a huge thing. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to earn you more respect than trying to be fake or trying to, you know, come off as something that you're not.
I got you, Bill. I'm with you, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I absolutely, it's like, I know that there's people out there that don't like me, that think that I'm fake, that think I'm, like, oh, he talks too much, he's not the best blacksmith, he acts like he is. Me and Roy have a little, kind of, I don't want to call it an inside joke, I don't know if he's in on it.
Surprise.
I'll occasionally toss out the comments.
Tell it a surprise.
Oh yeah, Roy, that guy I thought of everything he knows. I'll act like I'm better than Roy in every possible way. And that's a funny joke to me because it's so obviously not true. And to some people that may come off as, oh, this arrogant, goofy, he's just if you don't get my humor, you don't get my humor.
To be fair, though,
To be fair. We've ruined streams.
You can fully explain to somebody that you're not trying to be arrogant in any way,
Yeah.
and they will literally still say that you're arrogant
Yeah, that came off
in
arrogant.
every single way, and it's just like I can't win for losing. So it's like, well, oh well.
Yeah.
Can't satisfy everyone.
Right.
That's why I try to be as open as like all four of you on screen have met me before. Am I different in person than I am on screen?
Nope.
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 I am who I am.
You're taller.
So.
You're taller in
I've
person.
never been tall. I've never been told that I'm tall.
You smell better on TV.
Jessica had something
Yeah.
she wanted to add.
Yeah.
So.
I was just gonna say, I think that it's definitely taken unexpected turns that we never expected. Just being able to reach people, like, we don't necessarily set out with the intent of reaching people specifically, but like, I think God just sends them our way because, like, time and time again, we've heard just people's personal stories, like, even with the YouTube channel, that they're struggling with an addiction of some sort, and like blacksmithing is their way of breaking that.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just helping them get through life better
Yep.
and to be able to live a better life. And our live streams, we pray over them. The tools, we pray that they go who needs them.
Yep.
And so it's just been amazing to hear the stories time and time again. Like, just guys, like, I'm just getting into this. I don't have a sweat blocker. I didn't have an anvil. This is like my first anvil. And so it's been, it's been a godsend.
Yeah, and even from people, like, again, who were in that camp, they couldn't get away from us because I'm the plague of YouTube. You're not going to escape the 1,550 videos that I'm adding to daily. You're not going to escape it. Get over it.
That needs
Don't
to be a
fight
shirt.
it.
That
It's gonna
definitely
happen.
needs to be a shirt.
Don't fight it. It's going to happen. That's going on a shirt.
The,
so.
the,
Yeah.
the nougaty plague.
You getting plagued.
There
right?
you go.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's been some people like that have like, wow, I was working through something and just your humor or your whatever, your video, it really helped me de-stress and get through a tough time. And so that was awesome.
I made the bell for Dad, for my dad. And kind
Which
of
I love, by the way.
Oh.
I love that. I would steal that idea, but it's yours. So,
Please.
I was going to make a bigger belt.
Of course. Of course.
Scrolls and all the 9 yards
to
of it.
scratch my grandiose attitude towards life, in general.
But, we brought the bell in, and I was just literally for Dad. And then we kind of got the idea, and we explained why it was there, and right off the bat, there was somebody who said, hey, my grandpa served, or somebody passed away. And I was like, yeah, and I rung it. And then it's almost every week.
Yeah.
Somebody who wants, somebody went through a loss of a loved one. And one Thursday night, Jess, you were talking about people going through struggles. One Thursday night, we had somebody, I'm not going to mention names, their son had committed suicide. And, I mean, it just hit us like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
So we went over and rang the bell. And before the stream was out, there were 6 other people in there talking about how they had a child commit suicide. Now, we average 35 to 40 views. And so you think about that in a blacksmithing channel on people who are probably somewhere in a shorter term of learning blacksmithing or getting started in blacksmithing, somewhere along that journey, 6 of those people had gone through a child
Or multiple.
suicide, or multiple
Yeah.
children committing suicide.
And what is the odds of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
high. Yeah. So.
And the bell.
It was like 30 minutes. Like we literally were in the stream of just like we couldn't get over.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And I'm not an emotional guy. I mean, there are very few things. When my dad passed away, I didn't cry. I celebrated for him. But to listen to the pain of people going through something like that, man, I was struggling. I was hardcore struggling, to keep it together, because it was tough, man. It was tough to hear when people go through pain and go through those kinds of struggles to kind of keep it together for them. And that's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
And I think that's another good point that kind of rolls into this that I'd like to address just with the blacksmith community that's on here right now, is at the end of the day, we are all just human beings here.
Yeah.
We are all knocking into each other. We're bumping around. A lot of times it's blind leading the blind out there, right? And heck, the world events as of right now.
Yeah.
That will remain nameless.
Yeah.
The world events right now just show you that. And sometimes it's real easy to get, even idolize people that you see on the internet. Like our channel. We've had people have very physically emotional reactions to meeting us for the first time, like as if I was Cher or something.
It's
It's the only old famous person I know.
All the people.
All the people.
Man,
So,
a few of those, Roy.
yeah, but and so at the end of the day, I am just a guy who enjoys blacksmithing, and I have a heart for teaching. I love teaching, and I love doing that. So I am just a regular guy. I have the same I have my up days, I have my down days, I have everything in between. There's nothing special here.
Yeah. And when
We all put our pants on the same way, zipper in the back,
right,
2 legs
Right.
at a time.
crisscross.
2 legs at a time, crisscross.
You guys wear pants?
Like the first time I met him, I showed up at Goshen. I talked to Jamie, blank there for a second, and he said, "Yeah, come on over, hang out with us." And I walked up, met you guys, and I was kind of geeking out. I gotta be honest with you, I was geeking out a little bit. I was new into it. It was my first real summer blacksmithing and everything. I showed up, and it was like instantly like, dude, just calm down. I'm just Roy, it's just Roy and Jess. It's the difference. And so it's just Roy. And so immediately he made me feel comfortable and at ease with the whole idea. And as you brought up, I have this phrase I throw out: we're flawed, failing people living in a flawed, failing world.
Yeah.
And like you said, just bumping into each other, and the idea is to help each other out in the process. So, in blacksmithing, it's amazing, And we also connect with several people in the homesteading community as well, and some other communities, and they're fascinated by blacksmithing. In fact, I think Anson's in Pryor, Oklahoma right now doing a demo for a big homesteading get-together thing.
Anson's in Oklahoma?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pryor, Oklahoma. And so being able to use the craft to connect with people and work with people and help people, if in some way we can just do that one thing that encourages somebody in that process. And if it's heating up metal and beating on it, I'm down. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
I remember when I first met a certain, due to editing and requests at the time to make the video of me meeting him, remove the audio. I remember I met a certain YouTuber, and one of the first conversations that we had was, "Man, there's a lot of pedestrians here. Wish we could grab a car and mow them all down," or something along those lines. And I was told, "You're going to edit that out, right?" Recording at the time.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Long way from Cher.
That's just a funny story. No, I met Roy and Jess and them over at Quad State. And, the year that I met my
Everybody.
Quad Squad family, and it's like Man, I remember, oh, Roy and Jess, let's see if you guys remember. I felt so bad for so long, I actually had to call Roy and, like, apologize a couple days later. Because I was on this kick back then, it was just 3 years ago. I was still very bitter about my soon-to-be, well, the papers are sent, she got the papers to go to court, my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I called my aunt and my wife, and, you know, like, Roy was over at John's house at the coffee ground, and I'm like, Roy, come over here, we can beat my wife together.
Oh my gosh.
It was 2 days later that I'm sitting there, bro, I was like, Roy, like,
You don't get a second chance.
And you know what I did, Yamas? You remember? I like, yeah, okay. Let's go do it.
In my head, I'm thinking, did I just say to Roy, Christ Centered Ironworks, in front of his wife, hey, Roy, let's go beat my wife?
Gosh.
Well, and,
Boy, and Jess.
and Yamas, you have a knack
I was
for
so embarrassed. I was.
you have a knack for odd first impressions.
Yeah. And I was mortified. I think I called you like 2 days later, you know, and I'm like, hey, Roy, I apologize profusely, and you're like, no, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And, you know, like, Jess, I don't know if he passed that apology on to you, but yeah, that was a shining moment. That was like, oh, no. But, yeah.
I saw that.
He's a big goofball, so I don't think anything of it.
So, and when I say
That's all from filming on the phone.
that it is. You talk about first impressions, and I think I've mentioned this before. So I got the invite to come hang out with the Quad Squad, and it was just such a great honor, and I had such a great time that weekend. The first person I had contact with was Champ. I got out of my truck and I had a Heat Beat Repeat sign or shirt on, and Champ just hollered, "Hey, Heat Beat Repeat, find a different shirt." That was his first response to me. That was the first words I got from anybody from Quad Squad. And then Yamas comes up towards the railroad tracks, and I walk up, and he's like, he hugs, and I was like, "Cool, I'll hug too." And he kind of lingered a little longer. Yeah, a little long. And all of a sudden I heard him go, "You smell like a pastor." and I said, "Yamas, it's great to meet you, buddy."
I didn't know that one. Oh, man.
Now the funny part is the last time John Coffey. Oh yeah, he just clinched on and I just heard this long sniff. Just. You smell like a pastor.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
Last time John Coffey was here, he came in and we hadn't seen each other in a while, and we hugged. We hugged each other like brothers. And all of a sudden he goes, "You smell good." I was like, "What the heck is going on here?"
You need to start working out more.
Yes.
Just start having a little extra BO going on or something.
Getting a bit of a complex. I mean, I guess if somebody
Start
said,
getting
"Dude, you
scared."
stink," you know, that'd be a different thing. It's getting a little scary.
Yeah, it's just a goofy. We like being. It's that. Let's see if we can make somebody uncomfortable.
There you go.
If somebody can like just be totally comfortable around as a mixed group as the Quad Squad.
Ooh, yeah.
Like it's because we got together. It was a group of 15 of us, and Roy officially kind of you're part of. You were there, with us for our first gig together, so you're also in it, as an OG. Yeah, it's like it was 15 of us who never met. We chatted on YouTube and Facebook and whatnot. We all got together at John Coffey's house and like family, instant.
Yeah.
Hygiene is
all the jokes.
Now the jokes are just getting, that's got to be a thing, right?
Now it's a good time to share your cologne.
Yeah. Beach
Bar
stick.
Unforged Cologne.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Smell like a pastor. It's bar right before you. Come on.
Smell like T-Roy. Who's T-Roy? He sounds exotic.
There's somebody we need to get rid of there.
What is it?
Yeah, no. Yeah, you might have, at that point, y'all knows, I might have switched from pastor to law enforcement officer back real quick. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. Did you guys realize that? I used to be in law enforcement.
Yeah. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to work with the county sheriffs and probation parole.
I shouldn't have told him I was speeding to get here.
Most people don't know that. Some of you guys know that, though. But yeah, if you'd have done that, I may have had to switch gears there for a minute. To be honest.
So what you're saying is you're around to keep people in line either way.
Yeah, that's right. You got options. And it's funny. I used to actually during a certain other administration where I was in law enforcement and I was in probation. We were permitted to have Christian stuff in our offices, but we weren't allowed to bring it up. If somebody brought it up, we could talk to them about it. Like if I had something that had a scripture on it, they could say, "Hey, are you a Christian?" And I could talk about it from there. But for me, it got to the point where I said, here's the help. I kind of liked probation better because here's the option. I can help you out. But if you want to be a butthole, I can put you in cuffs and take you to jail. It's easy. That's the easy part. Helping you is the hard part. Putting you in jail, that's easy. I can do that all day long, So, yeah, for me, I kind of enjoyed that job, really. Plus, every once in a while, you got to twist the wrist of somebody who's being a jerk.
Bless and rest.
That's a good one. That's a good one,
rest.
Robert. Well done, buddy. What'd you say, Yamas?
I got plenty of questions.
I did see a quick one in the
Okay.
chat. Gordon Bonner was asking a couple times.
Okay.
He wants to know what your reaction was to your first thumbs down. And I can start with that real quick. I can say, somebody watched the video.
I scrolled through the other day and was paying attention to some of the videos, and I started noticing a few here and there. And we put out, I think it was about 50 videos before we got a thumbs down.
Yeah, I was gonna say I rarely see a thumbs down. Not to be
And I
braggy,
saw
but
the thumbs down, and I was like, at first I was like, what the heck? What in the world could I have done? And then I thought, okay, yeah, it's all right. And then I said, wait, that's interaction.
yeah,
Right? And I know you got trolls.
Oh, man.
Love you.
yeah.
You all handle it way better than me. So. I didn't notice the first thumb down because I didn't really know what I was doing technically online, so I didn't know there was thumbs downs things. I just had a troll with guys taking it and saying, "You talk too much," and I'm like, "Your mom," just instantly there
Like
was
Xbox
no
Live
other.
chat.
It was just like. It's like, oh, we're gonna go there, huh? It's like you got jokes, and I was, yeah. So I've really gotten better about that. I'm like, what can I do to this guy? What actions can I take? And I learned the block button. And I'm like, no.
Oh yes, before
Don't
you
start
learned the
none,
block
won't be
button.
none.
Before you learned the block button, it was going to be the
But before I found the block button, I was going to do this whole segment called the Troll Wall of Flame, and I was going to take every troll that I came across. I was going to print off their screen name, and I was going, as part of a video, I was going to burn a wall with them all on it.
Wow. After the stream, we're going to talk.
And at that time, what's that?
If you were to do that, it would be inviting every troll from the internet.
Oh, yeah.
To get their name on your channel.
Jessica, playing to the smarter senses, Jesus talks through her sometimes, says that's not a good idea. We probably shouldn't do that. But I had it all planned out. I've got a buddy of mine. He's a heavy metal kind of guy. He does bladesmithing, and he's got really long hair. And I was going to have him basically be like the executioner that starts the fire on the wall, you know, and while he's like doing a head whip with his hair, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, this is gonna be epic content. You know? I was gonna feel vindicated.
Like one of them big old stogies in the side of his mouth.
Playing just like shredding on the guitar.
You can build a channel specifically on that.
Yeah.
You can build a channel on based on, you know.
Your trolls.
Yeah. No, you could. So
Becomes the internet.
You know,
yeah.
it would be a verb.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What I've
It has lists.
what I've come down to with people on the internet, there's people who insult my technique or insult, you know, something like that. I'm fine, like, whatever. Because chances are you came to my video watching it because you do not know as much as I do. That's why you clicked on the video to begin with. And I don't like projecting that I know a whole bunch. I mean, I do stuff and I'll teach anything I know. I'm an open book like that. And so it comes down to that kind of person, and those I just let be. People who insult character, however, those people, they're blocked instantly. I have no tolerance. And then the last subset group of people are the people who insult other people in my community. So those I have no tolerance for either. And that's why we have a pretty clean community on YouTube. Because early on, I was real heavy with that block button. Real heavy.
Yeah.
It was like, they're like, oh, there's another one. It's like they could have just been sarcastic. And I'd be like, oh, dude, that didn't read well. You know, it's like block, so, because it doesn't read well over chats, you know. It doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, Eli.
On to the next question, eh? All right. Oh, man. Let's see here. All right. In times you felt like giving up, what kept you going?
Is that like an in general question, or
In blacksmithing mainly, but I guess in general.
who else starts?
Let Jess start it. She hasn't been able to talk a lot.
Well,
All eyes are on you.
Yeah, while the beards run the
A
show.
lot of beards are watching you right now.
well, I guess the thing that comes to mind is my most recent experience of my sister passing. You know, that was real tough. That's been nearly 2 years ago, and her and I were super close.
Yep.
And she had actually come to visit us about 2 weeks before she passed. And just going through that struggle of losing somebody so close to me was very difficult, you know, fighting a lot of depression with that. And, you know, Roy helped me a lot through that. Like, you know, you were close to her too, but just encouraging me. Leading on the word a lot too, as well, you know, just like constantly. That made it important. And being grateful, you know, we take a lot of stuff for granted. And like we talked about getting frustrated earlier, you know, we get wound up too much about stuff that's not going to have a long-term effect. And so you gotta kind of struggle through those two questions for yourself, which is, you know, what is my purpose here on this earth? Like, you gotta find that out for yourself. It's not anything anybody else can tell you. And then, you know, like, at the end of my life, you know, what do I believe is going to happen to me? And so that's unique to each person. And dwelling on that, you know, regularly helps you put in perspective what's important. So.
How about
Well
the DM
said.
Daddy? That was very well said.
Well said. If I had a hammer, I'd be beating him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be beating Troy's laser.
Here.
A little blacksmith platinum there. We go.
Yeah.
Yamas,
Yes.
answer that
Next
question.
question?
Yep.
Well, as some of you know, not all of you, but some of you know, I do struggle with depression. I don't know if I'm about to blow a bunch of minds or whatever, but I have both Asperger's and psychothermatic disorder. And my highs with the psychothermatic, my manic craziness, that comes from that. And then like the lows are like super, like I won't leave my couch for weeks, you know. I gotta force myself to. And it's not so much I want to give up on blacksmithing, you know. Like I don't know if there's something that would make me want to give up on blacksmithing. I just want to push myself to go further. But in those times that it's like, man, I can't find the physical strength or the mental strength to get up, get out of a routine, and get back into the shop. You know, it's sometimes I have to just ride it out, and you know what, this is just going to be an unproductive week. Other times I'll come out here and light the forge and just sit and stare at the fire and go, I am not going to waste money burning coal without making something. And I'll just put something in the fire. And even if I'm not actually making a product, just moving metal, you know, usually helps pull me out of it. To be fair, though.
To be fair, huh?
Since I started blacksmithing, it's been a lot easier to keep that under control, keep those downs under control. You know, like it really, blacksmithing is what pulled me out from wanting to give up. You know, prior to blacksmithing, after, like, I don't go into it a lot because I don't like to get into that sappy sob story aspect of my life. But Irma, and going through a hurricane, the physical act, okay, hurricanes here, winds blowing, that only lasts a couple of hours. But the aftermath can affect you for your entire life. You know, to see your entire community destroyed, every aspect of your life wiped out, whether it's physically from the hurricane or because of the events surrounding it. You know, fights you get in with family, fights you get in with your friends. You know, are you evacuated? Why are you evacuated? You just lost your job. You no longer have a house. You know, you no longer have a wife. Your life is literally ripped apart. That's what is horrible about natural catastrophe. I didn't want to continue. I'm like, I've restarted my life 1,000 times. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm done. Yeah. And then blacksmithing pulled me out of it. And it's helped me stay out of it. So, to be honest, to answer the question, I really don't foresee anything making me not want to blacksmith anymore. Yeah. You know?
Have you ever gotten a text or a phone call or a message from somebody within the community in the midst of all that at the exact perfect time you needed it?
Yes.
Ain't that something?
There was, and I'm not going to name names because this story is theirs to tell. Like their story, you know, to briefly touch on it. I was fairly, about midway, it was about a year and a half ago. I was like questioning, man, you know, it's like, sure, I'm being goofy online, but, you know, and I'm really helping anybody. I don't have the skills to help anybody. You know, like I'm still learning. I'm just sharing my journey. And, you know, it's like I got a Facebook message from somebody saying, hey, I don't use Facebook. Here's my number. I watch you on YouTube. Please give me a call. And I don't feel like people, but all right, you know, a fan, let me give him a call. And gave him a call, and it was a person who was actually relatively local to me, within a couple of hours. And he just wanted to thank me for my live streams. Like, I've watched every single live stream. I've been in every live stream, and he still is. But he's a lurker. He will not talk during the live streams. He's like, I just want in my mouth when I found your channel. And it's not, he goes, it's not so much the blacksmith that you're showing, it's the community that you're building and your energy that you put out. And I'm like, I was blown away. I was floored. I was there, and now I'm helping somebody to not be there.
Yeah.
So I absolutely have had somebody pull me from, man, what am I even doing? To here's what I do. I'm here to entertain.
Eli, what about you, buddy?
No, you guys go
Sorry,
ahead.
man.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, you guys go ahead.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
Kind of forgotten the question.
How did?
I'm so sorry.
How was it?
No, I mean it was so good with what Jessica
Oh, I know.
said.
I was like, I don't
so
even know what
good
else
with what Yamas. I'm
Yeah.
like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
saying,
like, that's
it's
just
kind of like
it's good.
I don't need to
What
speak.
what kind of things do you do when you find those low points? How do you find your way out of that?
So like what keeps from quitting?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Thing? So my place there for what kind of I've always been more of a glasses half full type of person, actually 70% full.
Yep.
So that's the way I look at things in general. But at those low points or at those times where I feel like quitting and giving up on stuff, I find it really helpful if I just get out, like outside the circle of norm, like what I'm doing, like in the shop. We're fighting, kids are fussing, something, break the monotony and go to a place that makes me feel small and everything, and really take in, God's creation, because I mean, with all the insanity, right? This is a good, most recent one.
Yeah.
With all the insanity going on and all the news and all the stuff that's going on, all the craziness, right, going on, it really, I'm the type of guy, I have an on and an off. So I'm all about it, or I am not about it, and I have no fear in telling you whether I'm for it or against it. And so I can be either way. And so for me, just getting out and getting away from all the noise, it helps me get a bigger picture of where, again, perspective of where 30 years will be.
Yeah.
Like, is anything I'm upset about right now going to matter to me in 30 years? And you know what? I find myself not all about it anymore. I'm just like, no, couldn't care. It's like, couldn't care less about that. It's like, why? It's like, because that person is non-consequential in 30 years, or whatever it may be, whatever event or thing that's going on in your life right now, you're just a passenger you're passing through.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, everyone has gone on before you and will continue to go on after you, and just, again, finding places to make myself feel small and not so as important and not so, like, in the moment and things like that. And I find that really helps me reset and say, man, I've got a good perspective. We can go right back at this.
Perspective. I love that. I love perspective. That's really cool. James is calling you out, Eli.
What do you say?
He said, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind?
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm genuinely trying to think of an answer to the question. Like, it's a weird, I don't want to say weird question for me to answer, but it is.
It's a good question.
It really is.
Very thoughtful
And-
question.
And while you're thinking about that, I'll go ahead and answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I find myself, this is scary to even say, more and more like this guy every day.
Oh, well, we need to baptize somebody.
But I'm working on it. But I'm working on it.
Eli, get over here and lay hands.
But
Where's that split cross?
I am very much. Michelle gets after me because I am just stupid positive. I mean, I'm the ultimate optimist, and But when things, but I'm not immune. I'm not immune to those moments where, everything just went to crap.
Yep.
And I don't know what to do here. And that's a hard thing. And I have to find myself, okay, you're not the answer here to everything. And that's hard because I've always tried to be the answer to everything in my circle. When I'm taking care of my wife and my kids and things like that, it's like, well, I need to be the answer. And I know I'm not. I'm not always the answer. But I think my life as a kid helped me tremendously in this, and that I spent a grand total of a year in the hospital as a child. Christmases, birthdays, if you add it all up, it was a year that I spent in the hospital. And it was a lot of, there were times I was dying. Literally, they'd be like, okay, well, telling my mom, you need to be prepared, he's probably going to die. But when I was a kid at Children's Hospital in Cincinnati, most times, there was always a roommate. I rarely didn't have a roommate. And it was always that kid that they put in that bubble who didn't have oxygen or was in this horrible immune issue. And I was sitting there thinking about a baseball game, a Little League baseball game that I missed. And I always kept thinking, you know what? There's somebody out there, there's somebody beside me, there's somebody around me that I know is going through something more difficult than I'm going through. And it's that, again, making me feel small, that my issue is not near as big as I think it is. And, I know this sounds really weird. I think I was granted a pretty high pain tolerance and for a reason. And I remember, I know this sounds weird and this kind of getting crazy, but I remember actually praying. There was this kid in just severe pain. He had burns and had other things going on. He was in severe pain. And I remember praying to God, give me some of his pain. Because I got the ability to take it. So give me that pain. And I think that's what's prepared me for life as well in my adulthood is, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain, to take people's pain. And I think that's why ministry appeals to me so much, is that when people go through all that they're going through, and we talked about that before, is that now that gives me the ability, because I went through that, to take on other people's pain and hear it and not, I used to do 52 funerals a year in ministry. There was a time when I was doing 52 funerals a year. That's one a week. And so you're in death a lot. And so people dealing with death a lot. And in the midst of that, I had people look at me and say, I've never seen you cry at a funeral. And like I said, I didn't cry at my dad's funeral, and I love my dad. My dad was an amazing man. And we were very close. It wasn't because I wasn't sad. It wasn't because I wasn't emotional. It's because I was able to take it. I was able to keep it in check and encourage others and strengthen others around me. Man, that got really heavy, really deep. But that's part of it. Huh?
To be that rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not always. I'm not immune to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're there to be in
Yeah.
those situations.
Yep.
All right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eli, do you have a fun question?
Yeah. Let's get
We get dark.
Boxers or briefs?
It's getting as dark as my private sense of humor.
not a blacksmithing question.
Okay.
Favorite ice cream.
Oh.
Favorite flavor of ice cream, just
Okay.
for funsies.
Eli, kick us off, man.
Anything to do with Oreos. Oreo ice cream is
Love
my bop.
Oreos. Cookies and cream. all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
All
if you ever wanted me to do anything, tempt me with Oreos, you got me.
There you go. Yamas?
I'm going to remember that.
You can do anything.
My favorite, I'm going to have to go anything with caramel in it.
Oh, yeah.
Caramel.
Yeah.
Um,
Caramel, caramel.
but-
Caramel?
Yeah, probably like a good caramel banana ice cream.
Okay.
Me? Toasted coconut.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, Hudsonville.
Yeah,
We
see,
found it
Shay?
in Michigan.
Uh-oh. You can.
I'm with you, Chaz. Toasted coconut.
Toasted
all the way.
coconut.
There you go.
And
You
dad's the exact opposite because he's allergic to
I'm
coconut.
allergic to coconut, so we don't do that.
Mint chocolate chip from
Oh.
Burke, baby.
That's weird that I do
Yep.
that.
Such
Mint chocolate
oh.
chip.
Yeah. I like mint chocolate chip too. For me, anything peanut butter related, I'd eat trash out of a can if it had peanut butter on it, man. I love peanut butter.
Now I'll give a little different twist to the mint chocolate chip. This is a bit of an adult version of it. Cream de mint on mint chocolate chip. Whoa, that's good. I don't drink, but I will eat it. If it's on mint chocolate chip ice cream, it's cream de mint.
There you go.
Yeah, real good. Extra mint on top of mint. I don't know if it's the menthol in it or whatever it is, but it's the spot.
It's refreshing.
It's been like 10 years since you've had that.
Yes,
so.
yes, it has.
You don't
Now there you go.
There you go.
Just because I don't
You
even
gotta
know
make
where
it
to
happen.
go in the alcohol.
Bye, Gary.
Run to the ABC store, Eli. Run to the ABC store.
All right, what else we got? All right, bye, John. Bye. Who else? Gary.
Yeah, there's been a few people bouncing in and out.
Couple other
It's kind of hard to
people.
keep track. I mean, this is a lot of viewers we've had in the stream. It's cool.
Yeah.
Josh, Pastor Josh Smith, overall preacher Josh, whatever you want to call him.
Whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Josh overall.
He asked, and it kind of bounced off another question, and a question I had was favorite Bible verse and why, or like a life verse, a verse that I guess kind of keeps you going.
Okay.
So
Or like some quote or something like that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I would say for the religious of us, and then for the spiritual
Favorite
and
quote from your general religion?
yeah, absolutely. Life verse, as he called it, in quotation marks.
I'll go with mine. I love, in the scriptures, I love the book of James because it's like stupid blunt. If you read the book of James, it is
That is the next shirt.
Stupid blunt.
stupid blunt.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can do that one as a Christian channel.
But yeah. But you can't read the book of James and not get what he's saying.
Mhm.
I mean, it's so obvious. And he does one in James, James 4, 7 and 8, and he says, humble yourselves before the Lord, resist the devil, and he will flee. And I love the fact that when I stand up to Satan, he runs away. Not just runs away. Flee is the type of word that indicates that there's fear.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that for me, when I humble myself, I resist the devil. He's afraid of me because God is with me. It reminds, and the reason why I do that, it reminds me of the Lion King. I love this scene in the Lion King, and when Simba and Nala go down into the elephant graveyard, and the hyenas are chasing them, and they get cornered, and they get turned around, and Simba turns around. He's like, "Okay, I got to defend Nala." You know, he's like, "I'm going to be the big boy now," and he rears back and he goes. And the hyenas, it's right on, wasn't it?
How's that go again?
Yeah, because he does it again. He does it again because the hyenas go, that's good, do it again.
Yeah,
do it again.
Do it again.
And he rears back.
Do it again.
And
Do it
they
again.
laugh at him.
That's the best part of my trip.
There you go. And finally, he puffs his chest up, rears back, and lets go. And you hear this roar, this big roar. And he's like, whoa. It came out of him. And then you realize Mufasa is right behind him.
Say it again. Ooh.
Mufasa is standing behind him. Now, Dad caused the fear in the hyenas.
Yeah.
Not, not that. That didn't do it. So that's what I love about it. I know. Now you got it.
Yeah, I thought we were talking Bible verses. I just go to the Lion King.
I've preached a sermon on the Lion King.
You were watching the movie in your head, weren't you, buddy?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, I gotta go back.
I got my quote that I live by.
Okay.
Good.
If y'all want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll actually read it out. And it's part of a song because, I mean, I don't really have a book, but, I follow what inspires me, And bonus points.
Oh.
Anybody in the chat or anybody in the chairs that can name what this is from. All my days I've been searching to find out what life is worth. Through the books and Bibles of time, I've made up my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a call I think you've heard. Bring all the lovers to the phone, because no one is going to lose their soul. Love is my religion.
Can't say I know that one.
You got me, buddy. I'm stumped. I'm gonna feel silly when you say it though.
Whistle it.
No.
No.
All right. Who was it? Oh.
I want to see if anybody in the chat can get it. But that's mad.
Don't get us kicked off, man.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
And Fingers, you're right. There's a ton of great lessons in The Lion King.
Absolutely.
It's a great lesson to learn.
That was the first
Lesson learned.
the first sermon that I preached at our church was on the Lion King. You remember?
Right.
You remember that?
Let's see if y'all can look it up.
There you go.
Cool.
You know, there you go.
There you go. All right, over to this guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
He had it ready. I knew he had it.
I have something on my phone.
Oh.
A new phone.
Sometimes you gotta pull it up on a phone.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to butcher it, so that's, that's why. Oh, my favorite book, or my verse, if you will, that I like out of I'm biased probably out of the whole Bible, because it just kind of sums up a lot of what my thoughts are on so many levels and so many things, is Luke 18:10 through 14. So it's a powerful verse, and I think it really speaks to how I view people, my view on other people, and how we are all going to end up someday. But basically, it reads as this: 2 men went up into the temple to pray. One a Pharisee. For those who are uninitiated, Pharisees are kind of like the top religious leaders of the day. And the other a publican, which is basically another word for tax collector, sinner.
Worst of the worst.
The rest of us.
Yeah.
Cheater, the worst of us, basically, the publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. Here. I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast. Other versions say beat upon his breast. I like that better. Saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. And Jesus said, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalted himself shall be abased or humbled, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And that there, I think, basically sums up everything that Jesus was getting at, in my opinion.
Very good.
In my humble
opinion.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
So,
Yeah.
that's my favorite.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to, even if I had memorized it literally, I would never have been able to stop that off without a Bible in my hand.
Yeah. No, it's never been my strong suit.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel on that note, inspiration from something, whether it's memorized or not, the idea behind it, inspired by a quote or a line, is as important, if not more important, than rote memorization,
Yeah, it's okay to pull it up in a reference. I'm fine with that. Look.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jessica.
I have one printed.
She came
Of
ready.
course she does.
She came ready. She's ready for a test, bro.
Now, see, her way is reliable, though.
Yeah.
Because my battery could have been dead, and I would have been like, well, it's a verse somewhere towards the back.
Pulls out a Bible.
So I have a life verse, some people like to call it. It's kind of like the mantra that they live by. And I have a really hard time finding one thing like that for me. And especially because so much of the Bible you have to take in context. just taking a little snapshot of a verse is you're not getting the full effect.
Right.
So this is a verse, I started studying this chapter about a year ago, Psalm 91. Some people call it the 911 of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So you go there like if you need help. So, but my favorite part of it is at the very end. And it says, "Because he loves me, says the Lord," referring to somebody who loves the Lord, "I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation." And the part I just really like about that is that we're never alone. Like, even if you don't have another person that you can talk to about your problems, like, God's there with you, and He'll help you through it no matter how difficult it is.
Elijah.
Ah, yes. My absolute favorite verse in the Bible is Philippians 4:8. And it reads, and this is when I have to read off my phone, I've got it pulled up too, because it's very easy to get confused which words go where. But it reads, let me get my radio voice in real quick. "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." And each year, so Dad and I always do a week of camp and volunteer at our local Christian camp. And each year I always focus on this one. That's kind of like my hit home message for the end of the week. Especially going through like middle school and high school are the kids we normally work through, especially high school. Just mental stuff, mental health issues and things like that are huge in middle school and high school. You're going through a tough time in your life for most kids. And, speaking from experience and not that long ago being in middle school and high school, I know what it's like, struggling with mental health problems going through that time. And now being, I don't want to say older, I'm 25, but being older and being able to go back on those experience and help out those kids. We always make the joke, it's easy to be a Christian when you're at church camp because you're surrounded by other Christians. But as soon as, you leave that camp week, you get off that camp high and then you go back to school, and it's so hard to fight every day those different battles that you have to face, especially if you are proclaiming that you're a person of faith in your high school or your middle school. You're going to get bullied. You're going to get picked on. And, again, speaking from experience of that, if I can help some kid get through that, that to me, that makes all the difference in the world, getting that from somebody, because that's what I had somebody like that when I was that age, and being able to be that somebody for some kid, even if I never hear back, that was the case. Always, that's kind of the thing that keeps me going. And for me personally, just always remembering that verse in the back of my head when, your mind does tend to wander into deep and dark things. That's a good verse to kind of help pull out of it for sure.
Focus on what your mind's on.
Yeah. The biggest battle you'll ever fight is the battle inside your mind for most people. So,
hey David, come on.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Homestead. Good to have you in here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, it is 9:15. You guys cool? You want to slow her down, or I know they're tired. I don't want to wear these guys out. You're good. Okay. All right.
People are watching.
Yeah,
Having fun.
Yeah.
As long as Roy didn't go to my God, you freaking movies and take it on all.
If I wasn't here, I'd be over at Janie's house probably. So, doing God knows what on the 88 power hammer. So, we always get into something too big that tests the limits of his 88-pound power hammer. Always do something too big.
What else you got, Eli, or what else do they have?
Oh, let's see here. Let's go
Boxer
with
briefs, by the way.
briefs. Yeah, for sure.
Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs.
Yeah.
Boxer
Yeah.
briefs.
Box or briefs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yamas free ball.
free. My God. Okay, we gotta move from that one real quick.
Turn there, didn't we?
One of these. We want to get monetized eventually, okay?
Well, this video will be.
Yeah. Forget that.
Yeah. Goodness. What is something that you would want to challenge yourself with or learn when it comes to blacksmithing? Like the next challenge, then something you want to learn as you progress in your smithing.
Well, I think the three of us should probably go first before Hot Rod over here. Yeah, because he's gonna be like, "Oh, I want to do this," and we're gonna be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I like to make a scroll that I don't want to throw away."
What's that?
Right.
There you go.
Right. With all forge weld, no roads.
Yeah.
I love how you all hold me in such high esteem. That's amusing.
Well,
That's very amusing.
out of the 4 people here and 1 person on the stream, there's usually only 1 person we look to when it comes to, hey, I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's looking up bar run forge to learn how to do scroll work.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'll begin. First thing I'd like to learn, and before Rich Hans was in here, I'd just say talent. You remember, don't you, Yamas? Yeah. First thing I'd like to do is clean forging, and is to be happy with, like you said, when it goes away, that I don't want to put it back in the fire, and oh, I see this, I see that, I see it. To be happy with whatever the work it is that I want to do. But the biggest challenge that I want to do is probably along the line of more architectural pieces. I want to challenge myself in the architectural pieces.
Cool.
You're well on your way. It's a nice looking scroll over there.
Mute the camera. There's a special arm bar that I know how to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Yamas.
So let me be clear. The question is, what is something that I would like to achieve?
A challenge.
A goal that I would like, a challenge that I would like
Yeah.
to achieve?
Kind of like as you progress in your blacksmithing, a particular piece or a particular skill set or something.
A challenge that I would like to achieve that would lead me to one of my end goals. One of my end goals being grandiose sculptural. Being I need machines to get it out of the shop. I need to learn and kind of get really good at traditional joineries and the various types. Rivets I kind of got down, but collars and I don't even know what they're called. The little collar and lock pin things, so you can take something apart and then rebuild it somewhere else. I don't even know what they're called. That's how
collar
I
and
am a
wedge,
traditional joiner.
collar together.
It's still a collar.
Okay.
It's still a collar.
But it's got a
wedge
lock
joinery.
pop out, a locking wedge, and pop out, and then slip the collar and take it apart.
Yeah.
But collars, Confederate rivets, and traditional joineries to forge multi-piece projects.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Jess.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah. It's popcorn round.
Let's see. Well, I want to learn how to use Roy's new fly press to do texturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incorporate that in some forged copper bowls. Yep. And my other thing that I want to get into is, it's not forging related, but I want to try making some enameled clocks, because I think that'd be pretty cool. So.
Holy cow, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, Jess,
Mm-hmm.
I had a question for you in that vein, if you will. Doing your enameling on you can enamel on copper, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, if you were to take and do different textures and then enamel over that and have it shine, show through, that would be pretty cool. It wasn't
Yeah, no,
less
it's
of a question, more about how would that affect it? If you were
yeah, that's
only
actually
made you know, put it in the enamel rust.
Yeah, there's a technique there, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's French, but Bastel, I think might be how it's pronounced. And that's exactly what it is. It's taking your metal and either chasing it or engraving it or texturing it in this case, and then putting a clear enamel over it. And it gives, what it does is it gives it depth to the design, so you'll still see it underneath the color. So yeah, that's totally a thing.
I will be 100% honest. I'm subscribed to you on your channel, Enameling with Jess, but I really need to brush up on my lingo of your world of the craft.
Yeah.
You know.
No, actually, while Roy was doing his class today, I spent about 6 hours working on my first ebook for enameling. So
Wow.
I'm working on it.
You do have your own channel for that?
I do. Yeah, it only has about 8 videos currently. But
Okay. You do. I need little like plug buttons to like plug their stuff in. Sorry, I have to apologize for being hysterically laughing while you were explaining that because.
And we'll explain why.
Yeah, we'll tell in just a second. What was the question? Oh, challenge. Hammer making. When and people are tired of me talking about this, but making my first hammer was like basically just like euphoria. I absolutely loved it. Like the whole process, the whole learning how to make it, and it's a kind of ugly looking hammer, but it's my hammer, so it's cool. But like the whole process of going into it and just it's a very long process, but eventually getting to that point where you're making those professional looking hammers is the thing I want to get to, be able to make a product that looks top notch.
Something you can be proud of.
Yeah. I mean, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my hammer, but like the day that I can make a like clean forged, beautiful artwork, the hammer, necessarily the usefulness of the hammer, but the artwork added to the hammer, the clean lines and making even more intricate parts of the hammer look better, I think is something that I've always enjoyed about blacksmithing.
All right, now before we go to Roy,
Sorry,
Eli pointed something out to me here while Jessica was talking. He kept going. Eli kept going.
I was like, "Hey, look over."
And finally I look over, and his head is like he's bent neck around here, looking at my silly plant stand over here with my very first scroll like that. And he's staring at it, and I was like, stop staring at it.
His like his head just kind of like drifted over, and he's like, oh, what's that over there?
Because I know in his head he's going, well, bless his heart.
He's pulling up on his phone like, okay, what do I need to send him that get better at scroll work, and what playlist do I send him on that one?
Like, why didn't he sign up for my scroll class? Go ahead, Roy.
Because I can do that. That's why. Everybody says that. Oh, I can do that. I can learn that at home. I can do that.
That's Roy ran on our last live stream.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, Pez dispensers.
That'd be awesome, dude. That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna bring back Pez dispensers.
All right, stream's over. We're done.
Donald Duck, like the old school, like Donald Duck.
Yeah, old Donald Ducks. Yeah,
Pez
but with my blacksmithing head.
Okay. Little Roy Pez dispenser.
Pez comes
Put out
out.
little Damascus
Or it
Pez's.
should be like hammers that you pop out. Like,
There you
it should
go.
be like
A hammer
human
dispenser.
sized,
I was thinking like little Damascus Pez.
Yep.
Like every time you pop up.
And then when you go to reach for the Pez, the head pops back down and it slaps you in the finger with a hammer. I'm creative in that way.
Pez dispensers.
In all seriousness, I have had. It's an interesting thing for me. So I have had the skills to be able to do, but not the time to be able to do the things that I would like to do.
Okay.
So I've taken classes. I've done small things, examples, small little bits and pieces and of the type of work that I want to get into. But I have not allowed myself the time to actually go down that route and explore those. And predominantly because some of the work that I would like to get into is 300-400 hours worth of stuff, and to find a patron that is willing to pay you for 300-400 hours of work at $100 an hour shop rate is very difficult to do. So coming to terms with balancing that and deciding whether I can do that while my kids are still young, and things like that has been very difficult. But some of the work that I would like to get into, I've had for the longest. I have a chest that I want to make. It's like a church alms box, if you will.
Okay.
But don't want to get too much specifics. But it's obviously it's a very biblical theme chest, but it has high baroque work into it, gold work, silver work into the piece as well, and so it would be a real masterwork, so to speak, is what some people would call it, like a masterwork. Yeah. And then there's a lot of larger sculptures that I would like to get into as well, and these are all designs that I've been keeping in the nugget of, oh, well, maybe one day I'll get to them. And so this year we've actually taken a large stride towards doing that, turning down custom commission work and like saying, okay, we're going to start moving down this path and see where it takes us. But yeah, that type of stuff. And so yeah, Pez dispensers. Yeah,
Pez dispenser.
If you didn't learn anything from anything I just said, you kind of zoned out there. Just remember Pez dispensers.
What did he just say?
Roy wants to make Pez dispensers.
Just go plug something in.
Something about a bear coming into his
That's
shop.
what I thought. He said,
That's
I think
what
a bear's trying to come in.
Yeah.
I thought I already closed the door.
And now he's fighting with the bear in the background.
Don't die, Yamas.
All right, what else you got, Eli?
Oh, let's see here.
Wait, before you do that,
Okay.
do you guys have questions?
Oh.
We didn't write up a list.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, just off
Just
the
thought I'd
dome.
ask.
Off the dome.
Yeah. Let's see here. Thinking off the dome.
While he's thinking, do you have one?
Yeah. Let's see.
Keep thinking.
This one would be, well, no, I'll drop that one for later.
Sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
Yes, Eric, the party's still going on, buddy.
Oh, he's back. Cool.
Yeah.
He had to leave early.
You
Yeah,
got,
it was something big, like, coming in the door, and I'm like, yeah.
if anybody hasn't already, guys, go check out Eric. And Eric, and I'm not going to try to pronounce your whole name because I'll mess it up. He's a young kid who does cooking, and he's from Trinidad, I believe. He does a phenomenal job, really cool stuff, and such a good guy. Go check his channel out. There you go.
Favorite piece you've ever made?
Oh, yeah.
Yamas.
Yamas.
Go ahead.
Wait, favorite piece I've ever made?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
said it first.
snap. I'm gonna say my power hammer.
His dispenser.
Pest dispenser.
Yeah. Pez dispenser.
That's a tough one. I mean, that's a real tough one. Like, because every piece is a favorite piece until I make another favorite piece.
Well, there you go.
Right.
You know, like I think the Damascus hammer that I'm really, really dang proud of. But would I call it my favorite piece? Probably not.
Bye, Josh.
Oh.
I don't know. I'd have to say the favorite piece that I made was the 5-foot length of chain. It's very simple,
Cool.
but it was proof that I could, work at something at scale that wasn't just a single piece of iron.
Mm-hmm.
That it was proof that I could do something larger than take a small chunk of steel and make a skull or a bottle opener.
There you go.
It was proof that I could put multiple pieces together.
Excellent.
So
Who's next?
that's a dang tough
Oh,
question.
yeah. Yeah.
Roy.
Me?
Yeah, favorite piece you ever made.
As of right now, I would say my French Baroque sign bracket that I made
Yeah.
for BAM.
Yeah.
That's I really enjoyed. That was all me, all design, all ready.
Sweet.
You know, had
Creative.
full creative, you know, potential for it.
That's cool.
And so that would probably be my favorite piece as of currently. Favorite piece of all time is my hand hammer, my custom hand hammer. But it's got sentimental value because it was with Tom Latney.
Yeah.
And you know, first time I ever made a hammer, first time I ever forge welded faces on a hammer, first time working with wrought iron.
Yeah.
So a lot of firsts, all that same
That's cool.
statement, and yeah. So I really like that. But as far as my current most favorite piece is the one that I got to forge. So, yep, for BAM. Yep, that's.
My favorite.
There'll be more of
As,
this.
as much as I love that piece, my favorite piece that I've seen you do is the sled.
The sled.
Yeah, the sled
and,
was
and
awesome.
the reason for that
That was
is
fun.
the kids.
Yeah.
And that was just, for me, I think of that piece right there, and I think,
You just like watch me wipe out at the end.
well, there's that. There was that. It's kind of a dual
You know what?
Yeah.
enjoyment there. And the reason for that is, I know that one day those kids are going to look at that and think, Dad. You know, that'll be an
Yeah.
obvious thing.
That's what I said. He's like, are we gonna put this up for sale? I'm like, no, this one's gonna be an heirloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Dad?
Favorite thing I like to make are the campfire cook sets. And part of the reason, I don't want to say this the wrong way, because they're not complicated. It's relaxing. It's easy. It's not easy to do, but it's easy to just get in and do them, and the challenge of doing them differently. I mean, obviously, you know, I got to make a hammer with Hans, and that was just a special event to go do. The pew pew stands.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was my favorite
Yeah.
thing that I've made. I had a couple Civil War era pew pews that this person needed on freestanding stands, and I made 2 of those, and did a basket twist in the middle of, without forge welding, did a basket twist in the middle of a square bar. And that was fun.
Jess?
My favorite would be, and I actually just filmed a video on it, a real recent project. It's a flower ring dish that I made from blank. And I actually envisioned this project when I first started enameling nearly 3 years ago. And it's in my drawing book. And I'm like, it'd be really cool to make flower ring dishes, you know, that actually look like flowers. And so I took a common rose, a picture I had of it, and I made it. And it looks very similar. So we'll have a video up in like a week on that. So
Sweet.
my favorite project.
Did we get everybody? You?
Me. I have to.
I would like to do an addendum.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, but my shaka block
Yeah, that's pretty
made out
cool.
of a railroad spike.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason it's one of my favorites is because I don't do a lot of intricate small stuff, and to do the forge a hand and fingers was pretty new to me. So, plus this was a railroad spike.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right, Eli.
Favorite piece that I made was the first split cross that I did, that we did at the Ohio Valley Antique Machinery Show. Because, so the first thing I ever did was a wall hook, and Dad taught me how to do that. And after that, I didn't do anything else. And then we were at the Ohio Valley Antique Machinery Show, and I was kind of, filming. We did a live stream there and everything, and I was just kind of hanging in the background while everybody else was forging. And somebody, I don't remember who came in. I think it was Mike Salisbury. He said, "When are you going to get to forging?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I've only done it one time, and this is, for everybody else to do." And he was like, "No, get in the fire." Basically, like telling me what to do. I said, "Okay." I said, "So what do I forge?" And I said, "Dad, let me try one of those split cross things." So he kind of walked me through making it, and it was the first time I saw something that I wanted. What was in my mind came out, and so I got the cross done. And he said, "So what are you gonna do to it?" And I was like, "Well, that's all you do to it, right? You just kind of open it up, and there it is, a split cross." And he said, "No, you can kind of shape it or whatever." So he kind of walked away, and I picked up a ball peen hammer and started texturing it. And he came back and he went, where'd you learn to do that? I was like, I just kind of thought that's how you did it. And he was like, that turned out good. So it was a textured split cross, and that was like how I envisioned it would come out. So it came out how I, thought it would. So that was kind of the spark that got me into the blacksmithing stuff, and then ordered my anvil like the next day. And but yeah, that was, to me, that piece has always got that story behind it, and my favorite piece that I've done. And then obviously my hammer. I love my hammer.
Back to the hammer. Did you come up with a question?
Huh?
Did you come up with a question? Did you zone out?
The heat baked my brain
There it
today.
was.
So,
There it was.
yeah, no, I mean, these are all great questions, I think, that,
Yeah.
that you guys have already posited, so
Here's
it's a
a
good
random
round.
one.
So, what? Yeah, well, there you go. Why don't you ask?
Okay.
Yeah.
What summer vacation do you have planned this year?
Well, we just got
went on
back.
it.
Actually, yesterday, we were on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and there's actually going to be a video about one of the places that we went. And we went to the Blue Ridge
Hi, Rob.
Parkway. It was one of my dad's favorite places to go, and we hadn't been back since Dad passed, and it was kind of like, it's time to go. So we went, spent the week there. It was at a KOA campground, so wasn't they hotels or something like that. We just got to hang out. We were hoping to make a northeast trip to Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, which we absolutely love up there. Now, there's also the possibility of a summer vacation up in the area of, Alpena, in Michigan.
Yeah.
There is already a plan for that, and then there might be somebody in the area we could visit while we're in the area.
It's
of
gorgeous
Alpena.
up there.
So,
It's nice and cool up there.
He says it's cold up there.
yeah,
Hey, I'm about it.
Cool up there.
there you go. What about you guys?
Too far away from the ocean.
There
We have the lake.
Yeah, I say you got a lake.
4 miles away, Lake Huron.
you go.
Yeah, we're actually getting ready. Next month we're going to go to the Sleeping Bear Dunes. It's near, we're going to Leelanau State Park, which is this little tiny peninsula over on the northwestern side of the lower peninsula of Michigan.
Show them the hand. It
Yeah,
like
that's all you
juts
gotta
out
do.
over here.
It does. It's the tip of the pinky.
Yeah. It's the tip of the pinky.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, I probably have this way wrong, but I think it's like 5,000 acres of sand dunes right on the lake. And so
Yeah, right
I
on
went
Lake
to go for
Michigan.
my birthday last year, and we didn't get the chance, so
Mm-hmm.
we booked a little mini cabin, and we're like, we're doing that.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yamas?
Me?
Yeah.
First off, what's a vacation? No. Quad State.
Yeah, okay.
That's my summer plan. Quad State. Even though it's kind of fall, but yeah. Quad State getting together up in Troy, Ohio area.
Sounds like a
And,
great place.
Getting together with friends and family
Yeah.
and doing the ring of fire and seeing everybody again. But so, for actual, like vacation, sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
I think in August we've got family coming down, and what we usually do is take a week off and go sit at the beach. However, I don't think we're taking a week off for that this year. I don't know. It's one of those things where even though we have family down, we still schedule some jobs for the week. Just not heavy. But that's just down the road at the beach. I live in a place where people go to take vacation.
There you go.
It's true.
Still waiting on Roy and Jess to come down and get a cabin by the sea.
There you go. Eli, do you have a plan? You just started a new job.
I just started
so.
a new job. I'm not getting my vacation will be at a week at camp. So
Yeah.
technically, I mean, as long as everything still goes good with it. When I interviewed and everything, they approved that I should be able to go and do my week of camp this year. But that'll be on my vacation days. So be
Okay.
going vacation down the road.
Very good. Eli, everybody, last question, and then
Okay.
we'll have like closing arguments.
Closing arguments.
Yeah.
I love arguing.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Not as much as me. What? What?
He keeps staring at that thing, man.
As soon as we end the stream, where he's gonna light up the board and be like, "All right, here, listen, brother, this is how you gonna do it."
Bless his heart.
Who is the dad? You already kind of touched on this one, but who is the blacksmith that you look up to? Done. Next question. All right, cool.
Well, again, John
Yeah.
Switzer, Mark Asprey. I mean, there's just so many of them, but
Yeah,
and Festus.
yeah.
I'm honored. Honored to be in the likes of Festus.
There you go.
You, Eli.
Oh, me? I have to say you are it.
Awesome.
The anvil and everything. I watched your video to learn how to do the anvil, and anytime I was like, hey, I need to learn how to do this, the first person I always go to is you. If you don't have a video on it, then I'm like, well, I guess I'm not learning it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, Dad, just because, he's my dad. Yamas.
Blacksmith I look up to?
Yeah.
Well, there's this guy in a mirror that keeps talking to me.
Very humbly.
Yeah. He's a real humble guy.
So humble.
What's scary is what he says.
No, in all seriousness, honestly, legitimately, Roy. I look up to him severely. And it's not pandering because he's
No.
sitting in front of me.
Right, right.
It's just his way of going about things I can get behind. John Switzer, because of the way he's right there. But, Roy, really, the singular, everybody threw out a couple, but the singular blacksmith, that I kind of look up to would be Roy, because, well, I can, A, get along with him, and B, he has such a wide range of, skillful message. Somebody's laughing at me.
No, I'm not laughing at you, because as soon as Dad went there, they're like, oh, you can get along with him. He just went looking over at the scroll work again. Oh, love it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yamas, I'm honored, brother. I'm honored.
No,
I'm honored with all three of you. So. Saying too many nice things about me.
Jess is like, just wait.
There's so many greats to choose from, and to pick one, like, okay, I would say, Samuel Yellings, because anybody forging in a shirt and tie is amazing.
Well.
Yeah.
But like, I really look up to him, but I don't know him. John Switzer, I look up to him, but I don't know him.
Right.
Like, I look up to people who I know, but I know Roy.
With that being said, like John Switzer, I admire him tremendously for
Yeah.
his I look at John Switzer as my blacksmithing PBS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's where I go for the information, and it's calming, and it's relaxing, and there you go. Like you said, I know him, and I appreciate his work and how he teaches it, so that's why I admire him the most.
I like John Brunel's thing there. Jeez Louise, does anyone not look up to Roy with like 5 question marks? There's a lot of people who do not look up to Roy on the internet, so you don't have to go stroll very far. So.
What about you?
I mean, it's, to be somebody, I do consider, Roy, you as like one of my main mentors, and it's not a secret that I take information from several sources and apply it to my own techniques.
We all do.
Mishmash it.
We all
But
do.
like, as somebody who, if I'm really struggling with something, I can give you a call and you'll simply, like, okay, here's some tips, try this. Like, you can't get that with, I can't get that with, other people. So it's like, I do consider you a mentor, and for that I look up to you.
Very humbled by that.
Do I idolize you? No.
Good.
You want a
Don't.
pedestal?
Don't.
No. you know.
We already got one guy in Tasmania with a box that he feeds flux and lights candles to. So let's not go down that route, okay? No, for me, so I have some favorites as far as that I look up to. Long past dead and gone, does not get as much attention as he should, is Cyril Kolnick.
Oh, yeah.
His work, he doesn't get the attention that, in my opinion, he deserves, because he's a little bit overshadowed by, Samuel Yellen. But Cyril Kolnick could eat Samuel Yellen's shirt any day when it comes to forge work, in my opinion. But yeah, so really enjoy and aspire to that kind of level of ironwork. Modern day version of that for me has always been a long-time mentor for me, and where I've pulled a lot of inspiration in general from is Tom Latinay. So for anybody that knows his work, if you don't, you should look him up. He does amazing locks and ironwork that way. And then I would say that beyond those two people, again, it's kind of like great white whales out there, right? Like those people that are in the stratosphere level. I would say that actually beginners I look up to more than, say, other smiths, or if you want to call them master smiths, or whoever, because of the tenacity that a beginner has and the twinkle in the eye that a beginner has the first time when they nail that forge weld or whatever that may be. That really inspires me, because again, I am so big on teaching. I mean, that's what I'm down here this weekend doing. I could be up north where it's nice and cool, sitting by the lake somewhere, but no, I'm sweating in a tin can, down here in southern Ohio. So, but like that's because I love teaching, and part of that process for me is because I look up to the people that are going to come up and be able to do great things just by the things maybe I've taught, or maybe some small little thing they picked up, some small little quirk about my hammer work or whatever, and then they're going to go on and do amazing ironwork with that. Far, 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 far beyond me. When I'm an old and gray man, my body don't work no more. There's going to be people who are going to be taking up that mantle and continuing to forge. So,
I'm excited.
So I look up to you all. I really do. Like you inspire me to keep moving.
Say my name.
So, I look up to you, Yamas. So if it was not for Yamas, my existence would not have been.
And you sparked on something, and we'll kind of close here in just a second. But I am thrilled. Even being new into the craft, I'm thrilled at the young men and the young smiths that are getting into the craft right now. There's a lot of really talented young smiths out there. They're just doing a phenomenal job. And you just see the enthusiasm for it too. They're like, it's not going to die. It's their thing, what they want to do.
Yep.
So that's exciting for me. I love that idea. I mean, not for us old guys who are just waiting for our bodies to fall apart.
Yep.
You have anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, he's not primarily just a blacksmith, but his name is Harlan Butte. He makes these very beautiful vases, and it's a combination of, there's some forging involved and also some metal spinning, and he takes those and he does an entire mural out of enamels on it. And so they're super cool.
Wow.
He's been featured multiple times in awards and stuff, but his work is super cool, so I look up to him.
Sweet.
Man, looking up Cyril, and wow.
Yeah, I have seen some of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Eli and all involved.
Yeah.
What a really cool evening. This has been a lot of fun.
It's been
man.
fun.
Do the dad
this
thing.
kind of started. I just had a crazy idea, and I got in contact with Roy, and I said, "Would you even? I know this sounds terrible. Would you even consider, small fish, big pond kind of thing?" And I got to tell you right off the bat, he said, "Let me clear something up." Right off the bat, he got kind of kind of gruff with me, and I appreciate it. He's like, look, no, you're not small fish. This is not, just you and me. It's okay. And I appreciated that from the beginning. And then he sat in his easy chair, and I sat in my easy chair, and the world spun around us for a little while. Next thing I know, it was 2.5 hours of just video chatting and talking, and it was just awesome. And we said, yep, let's do it. And I greatly appreciate that. And I appreciate Yamas being able to, to understand and join in with us and just kind of move his stuff around as well and get all the different perspectives in. Thanks so much to Jess. I know she's had a long day as well. I'm sitting here, it's almost 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we're still here. And I know, again, Roy and I talked about this. We could just keep the cameras going. There's two of us who just keep yapping, and then it wouldn't stop. And bless everybody else's heart for putting up with that. Anyway. So, Eli, anything last that you want to say?
Well, again, I'll hype Roy up a little bit on this one. No, like Dad and I talked about it when I caught the very tail end of their conversation when they were talking about this whole setup, and to me, it's cool. Roy is a big channel. You guys have a big influence in the blacksmith community. Like I said, when you go to look up something to forge, John Switzer and Christ Centered Ironworks is like the top two you go to, and to me, and I hadn't really talked to Roy other than on times and live stream and stuff, and I was like, this guy's big name in blacksmithing, and was just like, yeah, absolutely, I'd come hang out with you guys and chat for a while. And I was like didn't even bat an eye, like, oh, let me check my schedule, or make sure that this was. He was like, cool, yeah, let's do it. I was like, that's so cool. So, and again, like you said, not idolizing you, but definitely somebody you look up to and just chilling in the shop.
Last little bit for us, buddy.
I'd like to first off thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
I know that initially I believe you had planned for just you and Roy and Jess to have a sit down. But this was nice. It was nice being, a little rocky at the start trying to get the audio, but thank you very much for allowing me.
Jess is to thank for that.
And should have waited for me last because I got Good Night Fire queued up, and I want you all to.
Okay, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. All right. Anything else before we get back to you for Good Night Fire?
Really, just thank you all, community and Smiths and streamers alike. I hope everybody was entertained.
Yeah.
How could we not be entertained?
Yeah.
Look at us.
I just look.
Look at
What's so
us.
entertaining about this, right? Jess?
I just want to say thank you to you and your family for having us for dinner. It's very nice to be able to join you, and I guess nice to be able to not be behind the computer.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, Eli.
Yeah.
There's Jordan Bickmore. Just met up with him, had a great dinner with he and his family 2 nights ago in North Carolina, believe it or not. So, hi, Jordan. Brother?
Yeah, I just came down to see this gorgeous
Dude.
store. That's what I came here for.
Killing me, man.
I need, at the end of this, I'm going to have...
I saw. I was amused.
I wept.
I'm here.
I wept.
I looked at that and it said I was amused.
I need to get a picture of him looking at it with this like judgmental face and change that to the thumbnail for the stream.
Just head down.
Yeah, just there's your you can come up with a clickbait statement for that, and it's like why you should listen to my advice on scroll work.
Take a scrolling class.
For my final thoughts though, in all seriousness, I appreciate being included. I appreciate you reaching out. Appreciate being able to come down and again dinner. Lovely. Thanks for letting me meet your family. That sort of thing. Thank you to everybody who's been watching this and hanging out for this like round table discussion stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy hanging out with other Smiths, so it's what I like to do. So thank you all. That's my closing statements.
Cool. Mine again. I still am like I said, geeked out. I'm so enthused about this, doing this, blacksmithing, but also enthused about meeting great people, being a part of great fellowship, and then we get the blacksmith. Added all to that, we still get the blacksmith. And daggone, I know. End the stream now.
John Brunell asked, so I was just going to show it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful handiwork. Now keep talking.
And Robert, it is my first scroll. Yes. John.
There's a little soda down.
He's gonna be Roy. If you like it so much, here, keep it.
Yeah. Hang it up in your shop.
Keep it for your demonstration. Say, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is what we don't do.
Yeah. That's what you don't do.
Blame John Brunell.
I'm blaming him wholeheartedly.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Here's the deal, and again, we're having fun with this, but this is a pleasure, and not just because of the blacksmithing, but I'll say this the right way. If I was convinced that Roy was a jerk, he wouldn't be sitting in my shop. That's just all I can say. And so I'm not thoroughly convinced he is yet. Now they did that.
Yes is the key word. I'm working on it, fellas. I am working on it.
Challenge accepted, right?
The bridge will be burned.
But no, this is an absolute honor to have both of them in the shop. Just behind the scenes, you guys, you and Eli, people like you are just so, I don't want to say underappreciated, but man, you guys make it happen, and it's just amazing, and we appreciate you so much. When you don't see all the chats in your live streams, but there's a great amount of conversation that happens between Jess and the guys and the folks on the chat.
Yeah.
And they just appreciate her so much and all that she does. So we're thrilled to have her here as well. I love this. I absolutely love this, and I can't get enough of it. And if you ever want to come to Bar Run Forge, hang out with us. Doors always open. Snacks, drinks are in one of the two refrigerators.
Or in the fridge.
Snacks are in the counter or whatever. But anyway, man, what a blessing this has been, and I really mean that, an absolute blessing. And again, I love the fact that other than I threw in the hashtag Drive for 500 thing,
Yeah.
it hasn't been about anybody's channel or anything like that. It's just been a lot of fun. So, without anything further, you got it queued up, you say?
Yeah, I wrote it out in the chat so that everybody
He wanted to
you
do
guys have a read
Good Night
stream.
Fire.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
we'll do it along with you, Yamas.
Right? Yeah.
All right, you ready?
So,
How do we do this?
as long as y'all
I
have a
don't know
read
what this
stream. Alright, everybody. This is Good Night Fire. For those of you who don't know, I say this at the end of every single one of my forging streams. I skipped it this weekend because I wasn't saying good night. But it's in the chat now. Or not? Okay. It's in send. It's over.
What?
Oh, over the count limit.
Oh.
That's why I won't send. Hold on. Alright. So,
You want to try it
in
again?
the chat now.
All right, everybody ready?
Count of 2. 1, 2, 3.
Good night, fire. Good night,
night,
coal. Good night, embers. Good
night,
night,
glow.
glow. Good
Good
night,
night,
tongs in the rack.
Good night,
Steel.
From
Yellow
yellow
to
to
black.
black.
The
Angle is quiet, still is the tweer. Good night, blacksmiths. Everywhere.
Awesome.
Good night,
Guys, thank you so much. This has been
Wait.
so cool. God bless every single one of
Wait,
you.
wait.
Eli.
Roy and Jess, where's the best place for everybody to find you at? Websites, your plugs, everything like that. Just
Now we do the plugs.
as if everybody doesn't know.
Anywhere on the internet.
Anywhere on the internet.
Christ Centered, and then we'll pop up for the most part. So,
Ironworks.
Christ Centered Ironworks on YouTube, Christ Centered Ironworks on Facebook, Christ Centered Ironworks. Basically, Instagram, anywhere that we have a social media account, it's all linked up the same. So yeah, if you type in Christ Centered Ironworks on Google, you'll be able to get in touch with us of some sort.
And I'll even direct you to Blacksmith blacksmithpdfs.com, right?
Yep. Yep.
See what I
Yep. We
did
also. Yep. Nice segue. Good at this, ain't you? We also sell blacksmithing blanks and things like that over our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. So, yeah, go check it out.
Yamas, where can they find you? Best place to find you?
Usually in the bathroom. No,
Post office wall.
yeah, post office wall. I don't know, I haven't found me yet. Anyway, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Discord. I do the Forge Chat Discord server with Rob Huff and friends. And yeah, you can find me typically Saturday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern doing my forging, and then Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern doing Blacksmiths Community Church, a gathering where we do Discord live chat and all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Good deal.
My website exists. I don't know forge.com, but it's under construction. You can check it out, but you're not going to get anywhere. You can see the fancy artwork we have put up there.
There you go. All right,
The
Elijah.
island is being formed.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Island's being formed.
The island's being formed.
Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty. And just because I need to kick this off, this is the new graphic that I made. Boom. If you have not already, go ahead and go to the Bar Run Forge YouTube page. Hit the like button. Make sure if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're alerted every single time we have new content. Go to the website, www.barrunforge.com. That is BARRUNFORGE.com, where you can check out merch as we are wearing currently. Check us out on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. If there's nothing else, God bless. You all have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Take care, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.
BAARRUN.
Golly.
That's perfect.